Good evening, everyone. It is high school baseball on this Monday night on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10. Along with Matt Crawford, I'm Matt Miller, John Alderton running our TV 10 camera, and Patrick Feely, our engineer, back at the studio. Should be a good one tonight as the Martinsburg Bulldogs at 11-5 on the season welcome in the Jefferson Cougars, an old rival who will come in at 13 wins and 1 loss. And Matt, both of these teams playing some good baseball as the Cougars are riding a 9-game winning streak. Martinsburg has won 11 of their last 13.
Yeah, beginning of the season, when you looked at this section in Berkeley County, it was going to be down to Hedgesville and Martinsburg most likely. You looked at just who was coming back from these two squads. Martinsburg coming off a state appearance last year. And you look at the other section in this region, and I think there weren't too many people picking anybody but Jefferson. So when you look at it, these are two teams that are expected to make a run for the regional title again this year, and two teams that you could see either one of them fighting for a state championship again this year.
Last time out for the Jefferson Cougars was on Saturday. They entertained Greenbrier East in doubleheader action, securing a 12-2 win in Game 1, a 9-0 win in Game 2. Meanwhile, for Martinsburg, last in action on Saturday, a single game against Petersburg, and the Bulldogs scored the victory 14-4. And Matt, we were at their game last Wednesday out at Spring Mills when they put 23 runs on the board in a 23-9 victory. So the last of 2 games, a combined 37 runs. They've been pounding the baseball.
They have, and that Spring Mills game is going to be an outlier this season. Not a whole lot of times you're going to see a baseball team, especially at the high school level, score 23 runs in a game, but the hitting has finally come through for this team. It was a case we're talking to head coach Aaron Byler before that Spring Mills game. He made the statement they had really struggled hitting in big situations, and I think they've taken strides in the right direction in the last 2 games.
Yeah, no doubt about it, and they have come up with some big hits as far as 42 doubles, 9 triples, and 3 home runs for Martinsburg. So you're looking at 54 extra base hits out of 152 hits for this offense. The key tonight going to be getting some offense going against a very good pitcher in Zach Rose, because typically this Jefferson team does not give up a lot of runs, and Martinsburg is fully aware of that as these two teams met back on March the 19th, and Jefferson came away with a 3-1 victory.
Yeah, one thing you can say about this Jefferson Cougar team, and this has been the same way for a very long time under 47th-year head coach John Lowry Sr., is they're a fundamentally sound baseball team. They're not going to give you too many breaks on the base paths when they're in the field defensively, and Martinsburg's going to have to take advantage when they're able to get on the base paths and play a little bit of small ball, move guys situationally, play station-to-station baseball. And on the flip side, that Spring Mills game where Martinsburg scored 23 points, it wasn't all happy cheers and pats on the back after that game. We had them for 9 errors in that game, including 5 in the bottom, or the bottom of that first inning. So while Jefferson's usually sound in the field, Martinsburg's still trying to figure out their defense and trying to get that fundamentally sound defense in the field.
Well, Martinsburg has wrapped up their infield warm-ups. Jefferson has taken to the field as we speak. A little light rain around the eastern panhandle as fans in the bleachers right now with umbrellas up, and looking at the forecast, potential for a little spitting rain throughout at least the first few innings of this one. We'll keep an eye on it. Field, though, looks great as the teams warm up. The pregame show brought to you by W. Harley Miller Systems, providing custom integration services from home and office automation to home theater, networking, audio, video distribution, and more. Find them online at WHMsystems.com or phone 304-350-1931. We'll take a timeout, and when we come back, we hear from both head coaches as we continue to preview today's matchup. It's West Virginia High School Baseball on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
When you're hurting, we're here. When things are confusing, we're here. When you need answers, we're here. Brown Funeral Home. We've been caring for families like yours for generations, since 1880. Whether you want to plan ahead or you need us now. Our families are precious to us, and so are yours. Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown Ranson. We're here when you need us.
If you hang the WVU Medicine sign, certainly has helped take us to another level.
We literally
literally saved my life. It's just mind-boggling to me that he was able to do what he did.
We're able to affect much more of a difference for our patients with these resources.
Having people treated locally enhances their overall care.
They treat you great and they're down there.
We welcome you back into the pregame show brought to you by W. Harley Miller Systems, getting ready for high school baseball on this damp Monday evening. Jefferson here at Martinsburg. Well, as we got our conversations with the coaches started, we talked first with Martinsburg head coach Aaron Byler in his second season. Matt Crawford caught up with him and asked first just, how he feels his team is playing at this point in the season at 11 wins and 5 losses.
I think we're playing relatively good baseball. I don't think we're playing our best baseball yet, but, we'll definitely Jefferson will definitely test you tonight, make sure that you're doing all the right things, and if you're not, they're always going to take advantage of it.
Trey Sign on the mound for you guys. What do you see in him?
We're confident in Trey. Trey's a guy that, that came in this year, and he worked real hard in the off season. He got stronger, and, he's been throwing really well, so we have all the confidence in the world in him tonight. We need him to throw strikes, and we definitely have to catch a baseball behind him.
One guy out for you again tonight is Nicholas Wright. After 2 games ago having a career day for him, just a hit short of the cycle. What's nagging him?
He's got a knee injury right now. He could probably go tonight if it was a sectional or regional playoff game tonight. He'd be in the lineup, but it's not. And like we talk about all the time, these games are to get better for the playoffs, and I don't think there's any sense in bringing him back tonight and rushing it. And we need to make sure he's healthy when it matters.
Last time we saw you guys, some issues in the field, but did manage to score 23 runs. You feel that you've fixed your fielding issues a little bit?
We practiced hard. We hit him a ton of fungos, and we worked on some things mechanically to try and clean that up. But you never know. These kids are very capable kids defensively, and it's just about having confidence and believing in their ability. And Jefferson's going to put the ball in play tonight, and we better make sure we cleaned it up, or it could be ugly.
Jefferson, not a sectional team, but a big regional opponent. What do you see in them coming in?
Their quality, whoever they put on the mound tonight, whether it be Tennant or Rose, they're going to throw strikes and fill it up, and we got to make sure that we swing it well and play good defense. And they're never going to beat themselves. They're never going to beat themselves. Obviously, they got one of the best coaches around, and he does a great job over there, and we're just excited for the challenge.
Coach, thanks for the time. Good luck tonight.
Thanks, guys.
And there you hear from Aaron Byler, head coach for the Martinsburg Bulldogs, his thoughts heading into this matchup tonight against the Jefferson Cougars. Martinsburg coming in at 11 wins and 5 losses. When you look at the 11 wins in their last 13 games, really playing some strong baseball, with one of those 2 losses a 2-1 decision at Musselman. The other didn't have their best effort up at Frankfort and got beat 11-2, but they have been in every game that they have played for the most part this year.
Yeah, and that's what high school baseball should be. Again, it's a case where everybody is going to be making the playoffs at the end of the year. So the goal is to improve throughout a season and play your best baseball at the opportune time. So the goal is to gradually improve your skill, figure out your rotation, do all that stuff as the playoffs approach. And again, I've said this throughout the year so far, it's you don't need to play your best baseball at the beginning of the season necessarily.
Let's turn our attention to the Jefferson Cougars, winners of 9 in a row, 13-1 coming in. Talking with their head coach, John Lowry Sr., we asked him about how he feels his team is performing here near this midpoint of the year.
Well, we've feel good about the way we played at times. There's obviously things that we would like to do better. I feel like our pitching's starting to establish itself a little bit. We have some consistency on the mound with the guys that we've been going to. We've had, I think Dylan McCartney has established himself as a guy that we can go to late in the game where we really don't lose a whole lot. Maybe he can pick up a little bit with his breaking ball, and he throws hard. He's perfect for that role. Hitting comes and goes, and that's kind of what it's been for us. But if we can, catch the ball and keep the ball across the plate pitching, I think that gives you an opportunity to be in all the games you play. And, the nature of baseball is, you've heard me say it before, and I guess it's kind of redundant to say it again, but there's a randomness to the game. But if you can keep the defense and the pitching established and take advantage and be alert and concentrate, you have a chance to be in all your games.
What does it say about your team to be able to, when you've been able to score runs and win big, but at the same time, you've won some very tight games against good teams throughout the season, including the first time against Martinsburg 3-1.
And I'm glad we've played some games like that. We were down 6 runs in the Moorfield game, and that it's good to be in those situations to see how you're going to react to them. And if when you play in a tight game where every pitch is valued, then when you get a tight game again, you know that you've been there. You can draw on that experience. Or if you do get down, you know that you've been there before, that you have the ability to come back. And that's what you try to establish. It's a 21-out game. You got to get them out 21 times. They got to get you out 21 times. So, each pitch, each out, each opportunity like that needs to be valued. And I think you've heard me say this before, the key to the game is concentrating 100% of the time for 3% of the action, and that's the challenge with this age group sometimes.
Coach, thank you very much. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Well, there you hear from head coach John Lowry, senior of the Jefferson Cougars, his thoughts heading into this one. And, he always brings up those great points in the course of a conversation. Baseball is that great equalizer because you basically get the equal opportunities. So you heard even from Aaron Byler earlier, can't make mistakes against this team because if you give them any extra opportunities, they're pretty good at taking advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with him wholeheartedly when he says the randomness of baseball is one of the things that just makes it so great because no pitch is going to be the exact same. No ground ball you're going to be able to field is going to be the exact same. When you're a hitter, you're almost never going to get the exact same location twice in an at-bat. So it's what makes baseball great, and it's what makes each day unique about going out and playing the game.
Well, Jefferson just about to finish up their infield warm-ups, and then the grounds crew, which will be part of the coaching staff, will begin to get the field together. The lights already on with cloudy skies and some light rain falling here around the area, with much of the crowd with the umbrellas trying to stay dry on this evening. Good news is at least it is a warm evening temperature-wise, not quite like the rainy weather in D.C. last Tuesday when it felt like about 35.
Yeah, that was awful fun, wasn't it?
It certainly was. Well, our pregame show brought to you by W. Harley Miller Systems. Give them a call at 304-350-1931 or go online to WHMsystems.com. We'll wrap up our pregame show when we come back as we continue to look at both of these teams in today's matchup. We'll get into the starting lineups as well. It is West Virginia High School Baseball on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
If you hang the WVU Medicine sign, it certainly has helped take us to another level.
He literally saved my life. It's just mind-boggling to me that he was able to do what he did.
We're able to affect much more of a difference for our patients with these resources.
Having people treated locally enhances their overall care.
They treat you great, and they're down to earth in the West Virginia way that all West Virginians treat each other.
The National Maritime Center primary mission is to credential all U.S. mariners. We have approximately 250 employees here in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Most people aren't aware of the quality of life here in Berkeley County. We have a lot of employees that are from the area. We obviously have folks that have to do tours here, and it's kind of a little bit of a hidden secret of how nice the quality of life is here.
Back again here at P.O. Faulkner Park, getting ready for tonight's game between the Martinsburg Bulldogs and the Jefferson Cougars. Matt, as we continue to break down this matchup, head coach John Lowry Sr. talked about how the pitching and defense had really been coming around for his team. With that record at 13-1, this staff has thrown 91 innings and has given up just 75 hits. 42 runs, but only 24 have been earned. That is a team ERA in high school baseball at 1.85, and they do it by getting ahead of hitters. 119 strikeouts to just 45 base on balls that they have thrown this season.
45 walks for a high school baseball team over a 14-game period is amazing, and a sub-2 ERA as a team is amazing. When you hear him talk about that, it made me go, okay, I got to go back and look at the schedule, because each one of the games we've called, which is now our third Jefferson game we've called on the season, pitching hasn't been an issue. So when you hear him say pitching's starting to come around, you're thinking to yourself, where was it exactly? Because every time we've seen, they've been big situations. Pitching hasn't been the issue. It's been them getting runs across, and they've done that too, taking advantage of situational baseball.
Well, and we've heard from Coach Byler throughout the course of the season in our conversations. He preaches the same thing. Guys, you got to get ahead of hitters if you want to get them out, and Martinsburg pitching has done that same thing. 108 strikeouts to 41 base on balls over 93 2/3 innings, a team ERA of 3.29. The first time they met, it was a 3-1 game. Will we get that great pitching and defense in another low-scoring affair, or will the offenses take center stage here tonight? Stick around. We'll find out together. All right, time for us to take a look at the starting lineups. They're brought to you by D&N Auto Specialist, where honesty is their best policy. Get it fixed right the first time at D&N Auto, family-owned and operated since 1974. Specializing in exhaust alignments and tires. Set up your appointment by calling 304-267-4078. We begin with the Jefferson Cougars, led by 47th-year head coach John Lowry Sr., assisted by J.P. Jones, Ken Cross, Chuck Hamilton, and Mark Rotruck on the varsity level. For the Jefferson Cougars, 13-1, winners of 9 in a row, left fielder Hayden Stang is in the leadoff spot. He'll be followed by the shortstop, Corey Daly. Batting third and playing center field, Stevie Lee. He's been swinging a hot bat as of late. In the cleanup spot is today's starting pitcher, Zach Rose. Batting fifth and playing third base, Cullen Horowitz. Back-to-back sophomores in the 4 and 5 spots in the batting order. The number 6 hitter, the designated hitter, Taylor Tennant, the senior, batting for today's starting first baseman, Jordan Truno. The senior getting the start defensively, but will not swing the bat, although we have seen Coach Lowry call on the player that's been in the field to come up a time or two to bat for that DH. The number 7 hitter is second baseman Dylan McCartney. Hitting 8th is the right fielder Mason Lanson. The number 9 hitter, starting catcher Colson Titus. Now for the Martinsburg Bulldogs, 11-5, winners of 11 of their last 13, led by second-year head coach Aaron Byler, assisted by Kurt Zarnecki, Larry Cooper, Rick Alderton, and Buzzy Jackson. Also on the JV level, Bo Bartley, Zeke Grissinger, and Drew Sutherland. For the Bulldogs, leading off is the shortstop, Grant Harmon. He's followed by the third baseman, Ryan Barger. Batting third, playing second is Ashton Stobbs. In the cleanup spot, starting catcher, Aaron Pearson. Doing the pitching is Trey Sine. He'll bat fifth. Darrell Pope is in center field, hitting 6th. The number 7 hitter, left fielder Cam Burnett. Batting 8th for the Bulldogs, first baseman Elijah Banks. And the number 9 hitter in right field is Austin Bartley. A look at lineups brought to you by D&N Auto Specialist, where honesty is their best policy. Be sure to get it fixed right the first time at D&N Auto. Set up your appointment by calling 304-267-4078. Jefferson in the road grays, lined up along the first base line after coming out of that dugout with their players introduced. They have the maroon numerals with gold trim. They'll wear that maroon jersey cap with the Jefferson emblem on the front. Martinsburg with the white baseball pants, the orange jersey tops, black lettering, and a white trim. They'll wear the white baseball cap, the black bill with the orange M outlined in black on the front of that cap. Substitutes lining up along the foul line, and the coaches will join them in a moment as the starters make their way out onto the field, lined up 3 just behind the mound, 3 at second base, and 3 in center field. As we put the finishing touches on the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show, we send it to the studio, take our final timeout. When we come back, it's the opening pitch and play-by-play of West Virginia High School Baseball on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
It's the late nights. It's the early mornings. It's working in the sunshine and rain and snow. It's the dedication, the care, the hours of training, that led to the winner's circle. It's our job, our passion, our lives. We are the Horsemen.
Whether you need business cards, banners, magnets, office stationery, or promo material, Panhandle Printing and Design can make it happen. Call 304-267-7400 for a quote, or visit us on the web at panhandleprintdesign.com.
Ron Hawker here. You have no idea what Johnny's goes through to bring you the best seafood around. We have snow crab clusters, shrimp, crab meat, fish, all the best seafood you want at Johnny's. It's a tough job out here, but our customers are worth it. Johnny's with 2 great locations, 1456 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, and Route 11 South in Chambersburg.
We are back one more time here at P.O. Faulkner Park, getting ready for today's first pitch as Trey Sign, the Martinsburg starter, towing that pitching rubber and beginning his warm-up tosses. Martinsburg in the field will have Aaron Pearson behind the plate catching Trey Sign, with Elijah Banks at first, Ashton Stobbs the second baseman, Grant Harmon at short, Ryan Barger at third, and around the outfield from left to right, Cam Burnett, Darrell Pope, and Austin Bartley.
For Trey Sign, he comes in 20 2/3 innings on the mound this year, a 1.02 ERA. It's a 3-win, 1-loss record for him. 20 hits, given up 8 runs allowed, but only 3 of them are on him as earned runs. 18 strikeouts to just 6 base on balls.
Yeah, he's been solid. This is his 6th game on the mound this season and his 5th start of the year. He is second on the team in innings pitched, trailing only Darrell Pope by 1/3 of an inning. Pope has thrown 23 innings. Sign has thrown 20.2, and Sign has allowed, as you mentioned, those 20 hits, but he doesn't give up the base on ball, so you can afford to give up a hit an inning when you're not putting guys on. First batter he'll face, Hayden Stang. Time for today's opening pitch, brought to you by the Mortgage Center on Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg. Stang, a left-hand batter. First pitch, a fastball right down the middle for strike one. Today's opening pitch coming at 7:03. Hey, don't let somebody throw you a curveball when it comes to your mortgage. Stop by and see Mark and Cheryl Savitz. Swing and a miss, and another good fastball. 0-2 now to Stang. They'll treat you like family with personal one-on-one service. They'll walk with you from application to settlement with low interest rates and closing costs. Phone 304-267-9040, online at mortgagefinancing.com. Signed with the 0-2, misses up and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Started off with 2 fastballs to get ahead of Stang. 2 strikes to no balls. He tried to go with the breaking ball there on the 0-2, but breaking ball just didn't quite break.
Now that 1-2 delivery comes back with that fastball in on his hands. Stang fights it off foul third base side. Count now with a ball and 2 strikes to the junior left fielder. Out of the leadoff spot, a .325 average, but has drawn 4 base on balls to go along with 13 hits in 40 at-bats, so the on-base percentage up to .413. Here's the next pitch. There's that breaking pitch. It misses just up and away. Stang shows a good eye, and it's 2-2. We've seen Jefferson a couple of times this season, and they will be patient at the plate. Stang somewhat crowds the plate in that left-hand box, swings and goes the other way. A fly ball out to left. Ranging over to his left is Cam Burnett, and the catch made for out number 1.
And a pretty routine out in left field by Cam Burnett on a dry day, but again, with the rain still coming down, not pouring, but a steady rain coming down here at P.O. Faulkner, and the wind blowing left to right. Nothing's going to be easy off the bat today, just because the ball's going to be slippery and the wind's going to have a little bit of effect, but again, not overly effective on the baseball today.
And assistant coach Zeke Grissinger bringing a cleat cleaner out to put on the back slope of the mound as the mound getting a little sticky with that light rain that we've had falling for a little bit of time now. Started during that JV game. First pitch to Corey Daly, down low in the dirt for ball one.
Daly coming in swinging a very hot bat at a .481 average, has driven in 6 on the year.
13 hits, 27 at bats. Swings at the 1-0, fouls it out of play down the right field line. 1 ball and 1 strike on the senior shortstop. We've seen him at DH during the course of the season in games that we have broadcast. Today getting out in the field. Near the back of that right-hand batter's box, he takes this fastball just high, 2 balls and a strike.
Daly was a 2-strikeout victim in this matchup the first time against Martinsburg, but did draw 1 walk.
He doesn't strike out often. 13 walks, 8 strikeouts so far on the year through 27 at bats. Fouls away the 2-1 again off the first base side. Sign working right at these hitters, challenging the batter. Count now 2 balls, 2 strikes. A right-hander working pretty much from the center of that pitching rubber. As he goes into his motion, he slides the foot over a little bit towards that first base side of the pitching rubber. Comes back with an off-speed pitch, had Daly out in front, swings through that 2-2, and that is a strikeout.
Yeah, you mentioned Daly doesn't strike out a whole lot, but apparently against Martinsburg just doesn't hit the balls. Again, came in a .481 hitter, but now has 3 strikeouts over a game and 2/3 here against Martinsburg. So just doesn't feel comfortable against the black and orange.
3 of his 9 strikeouts on the year coming against Bulldog pitching. Swinging at the first pitch, Stevie Lee sends a line drive right at Austin Bartley. The right fielder had him played perfectly. Only had to come in a few steps and make the head-high grab.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be able to drop in for a single off the bat, but Bartley played it very well, only taking about a half step back to read it, then charging in, making a very routine play in right field, or at least what he made look very routine in right.
So a good start for Trey Sign. He sets down Jefferson in order. 3 up, 3 down. We'll go to the bottom of the first. When we come back, it is Jefferson, nothing. Martinsburg coming to bat.
When you're hurting, we're here. When things are confusing, we're here. When you need answers, we're here. Brown Funeral Home. We've been caring for families like yours for generations, since 1880. Whether you want to plan ahead or you need us now. Our families are precious to us, and so are yours. Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown Ranson. We're here when you need us.
Life can get in the way these days. We all know that. Work commitments, social commitments, volunteer commitments, family commitments. You put your heart into all of it. You've got enough to worry about already. Your roof shouldn't be one of those things. Everything should just work. But when your roof is in need of an upgrade, you shouldn't have to worry about that either. Modern Renovations, your 4-state roofing solution. Reminding you that home is where the heart really is.
Go to the bottom of the first inning. Martinsburg will have Grant Harmon, Ryan Barger, Ashton Stobbs, top 3 in the order, facing Zach Rose, finishing his warm-up tosses with Colson Titus behind the plate. Jordan Trunnell is at first, Dylan McCartney at second, Corey Daly, the shortstop. Cullen Horowitz plays third base. In the outfield from left to right, Hayden Stang, Stevie Lee, and Mason Lance. Time for our first inning first look forecast. As we are in the middle of the first inning, and we've got some light rain showers coming down again. Most folks around the ballpark with umbrellas up, according to the Weather Channel. A 50% chance of rain through the 8 o'clock hour, and then it looks like everything is out of the area, so hopefully the showers will leave quickly. Our temperature 68 overnight tonight. Look for a low around 56, and then partly sunny skies each of the next 2 days. Tuesday's high 76, Wednesday's high at 61.
Zach Rose on the bump for Jefferson. Saw him pitch once already this year, one of our game broadcasts. That was a game against Hedgesville. He's pitched 10 innings this year, a 2-0 record, 7 hits allowed, 1 run, no earned runs, 13 strikeouts to 3 walks.
His third start of the year and his third appearance on the mound, so has not worked in relief. Big left-hander ready to go as Grant Harmon digs in the right-hand batter's box. The Bulldog leadoff hitter Standing about middle of that box, somewhat crowds the plate. Looks at the first pitch on the outside corner at the knees for strike one. By the way, Keith Allison is behind the plate calling balls and strikes. He was on the bases in our JV game. Brian Collins has joined him for the varsity game. Collins manning the bases. Two-man umpiring crew tonight. 0-1 on the way. That fastball high and outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
This is Harmon's first action against Jefferson this year. He was not quite back from basketball season when these two teams first met. So his first at-bat against the Cougars this year.
Here comes that 1-1. He swings and grounds it up the middle, ranging over to his left. Coming in on it is Daly. The shortstop plays that head-high hop with a strong throw to first in time to get him. Out number 1 goes 6-3.
And again, the weather right now, wind-wise and temperature-wise, absolutely perfect for this time of year. But that's going to be a wet baseball, and especially hitting that grass, it's going to pick up some more moisture. That's a great play by Daly at shortstop, and to not rush the throw, but make sure he had it with authority, because Grant Harmon not a slouch coming out of that right-handed batter's box, getting down the line.
Ryan Barger, third baseman, number 2 hitter, up with the bases empty and 1 away. Swings to the first pitch and chops it foul. That one hit right down at his feet in that right-hand box and then into foul territory. Quickly, Colson Titus, the sophomore catcher, scooping that one up. Barger will step back in, the count 0-1. You mentioned, Harmon not getting to play the first time these two teams met. He had a little bit of a hip injury coming out of basketball. That helped to keep him out of the early couple of baseball games. He might have even been able to play. Fastball taken for a strike by Barger. He's down in the count, 0-2. Barger hitting .281, no homers, 9 driven in. 9 hits, 32 at-bats. Right-hander chokes up just slightly on the bat as he looks at a fastball that sails high. Now 1-2.
You can tell Rose has got some zip on the fastball just by the way it's been hitting the glove of catcher Colson Titus, so the velocity is there. And right now ahead on Barger, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Now that 1-2 delivery, working a little up and in. Rose kind of spins around on that front slope of the mound after letting that one go. Clearly frustrated he did not get the pitch in the location he was looking for. So the count 2-2 and that break even is on the way. Rose catches the outside corner. That backdoor curve, if you will, that actually starts off the outside part of the plate and then breaks in and getting that back corner. A beautiful pitch for the strikeout.
And the game we saw him pitch against Hedgesville, his first outing of the year, that is something we saw him attempt a whole lot. And as the game went on, he got more and more comfortable. So it's going to be awful tough for this Martinsburg team to hit that if he's on this early in this ball game with the breaking ball.
2 outs now. Nobody on as Ashton Stobbs swings at the first pitch, rips a fair ball just inside that third base bag, rolling down into foul territory. Scooting over to get it, Hayden Stang, the left fielder. He'll make his throw to the cutoff man, but Ashton Stobbs is standing at second with a 2-out double.
Cullen Horowitz playing third base for Jefferson, playing extremely off the line at third base for a right-handed batter was Ashton Stobbs. So not saying he would have made a play on that because that was an absolute rope down the line by Stobbs, but not sure why Horowitz on a right-handed batter was playing that far off the bag.
So the base hit the first of the game, and Stobbs able to put himself in scoring position for Aaron Pearson, the Bulldog cleanup hitter and starting catcher. The senior does have 10 runs batted in, a .317 average, no home runs, 13 hits, 41 at-bats for Pearson, who takes strike 1.
Pearson, a .317 hitter, has driven in 10 on the year. And if he can get some 2-out magic here, could drop in number 11, again, Ashton Stobbs. The lone runner on the base path standing at second.
Rose now stepping off, looking at the runner at second. No middle infielder coming near the bag, so no chance for a throw. Second baseman McCartney over there just a little bit, now gets into position as this pitch misses up and in. 1-1 now to Pearson. We saw those clutch hits in that 23-9 win for Martinsburg over Spring Mills last week. See if they've got a few of those left here in this one. A 2-out hit could score a run. The 1-1 pitch pop foul back over our heads out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Zach Rose really pitching well, the sophomore. Last year as a freshman saw some time on the mound, and you'll remember we were at that sectional game against Washington that You know, Coach Lowry gave him that opportunity, and it didn't go well on the mound. I tell you, he has come a long way. The 1-ball, 2-strike pitch due. Looks towards the second baseman and now delivers to the plate, and it's a strike 3 called. Pearson frozen in that right-hand batter's box.
Once again, the breaking ball with 2 strikes. We saw it come to Ryan Barger, and the almost exact same pitch to Aaron Pearson, starting in the opposite batter's box and just breaking it at the last moment. Again, Martinsburg's going to have a lot of trouble if that pitch is working for Zach Rose all night.
Well, Rose getting the job done, able to pitch around a 2-out double from Ashton Stobbs. He'll be stranded in scoring position at second base, and we go to the second inning when we return to P.O. Faulkner Park. It is Martinsburg 0 and Jefferson 0.
Ron Hawker here. You have no idea what Johnny's goes through to bring you the best seafood around. We have snow crab clusters, shrimp, crab meat, fish, all the best seafood you want at Johnny's. It's a tough job out here, but our customers are worth it. Johnny's with 2 great locations, 1456 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, and Route 11 South in Chambersburg.
If you hang the WVU Medicine sign, certainly has helped take us to another level.
Evolving what we try to do as physicians and as a health system and organization is the mission of WVU Medicine, and it's an exciting mission to be a part of.
With the knowledge and the years of practice that they've put into this institution, you know, they know a lot. They can help you, and they've helped me a lot.
Having people treated locally enhances their overall care.
No score as we go to the top of the second with the 4, 5, and 6 hitters coming up for Jefferson. Facing Trey Thine, the starter for Martinsburg, set down the side in order in the first on just 12 pitches. 8 went for strikes, and that included 5 of those 12 pitches to one batter. That was the strikeout of Corey Daly, otherwise a fly out to left. And one ball was hit hard, that line out to right, but right at Austin Bartley.
And Corey Daly stepping in to the box, trying to help his cause. A 308 hitter has driven in 10 on the season.
Zach Rose been swinging a hot bat as of late. You go back to last Thursday against Hampshire in a 7-3 win. Had a couple of hits, including a triple and 4 runs batted in. And in Game 2 of the doubleheader against Greenbrier East on Saturday, a 9-0 victory, he added a double, 1 of 8 hits for Jefferson. Big left-hander stands in, takes a letter-high strike on the outside corner. That is strike 1.
Height, I think, was okay to be a strike. Looked a little outside from our vantage point, but again, we're a little catty-cornered, standing right behind the left-handed batter's box, not necessarily right behind home plate, but did look a little bit off the plate, especially for how close Rose does stand to the plate right at home.
A 1 pitch snaps down in there, but apparently was high as the pitch misses for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I could have seen that go the exact opposite.
Yes.
I could have saw the strike 1 being a ball high and outside. That looked like it broke right on the outer edge of the strike zone.
Now that 1-1 fastball on the inside corner for a called strike 2. And there's that case where Rose crowds that plate. And so even though he thinks it's coming inside right under his hands are out over that inside corner. See what he does with the 1-2 delivery. It's on the way. Takes just high and outside, 2-2. He's a 308 hitter. 12 hits, 39 at-bats, no homers, 10 driven in. And in 5 walks and 7 strikeouts, it's an on-base percentage of .378. Sign from the wind, and the pitch up and in. Rose backs out of the way of ball 3, and the count has gone full, and it's the first full count for Sign.
Again, Sign's only walked 6 so far, and now 21 2/3 innings on the mound this year.
Comes back with a fastball outside corner. Rose protecting the plate, reaches out, slaps at it, and pops it foul out of play. Third base side. That one a little beyond the Martinsburg dugout and back out of play. Coach Lowry's got to like that. As a batter, you got to protect, and not a pitch that he could really put in play anywhere, but he made sure to spoil it and force Sign to throw another. Again, that payoff. Here it comes. Fastball got him swinging for out number 1. Second strikeout for Sign, his 20th now on the season.
And I'm not sure that was a fastball. It looked like a fastball off the hand. I think that may have been a changeup. Looked a little bit slower than his fastball off the right hand.
Well, he got Rose swinging for out number 1. 4 up, 4 down now for Sign as he'll face Cullen Horowitz, third baseman batting in the number 5 spot. Sophomore has very good size in the box, as did Zach Rose in that left-hand batter's box. And there's that breaking pitch that snaps down in there for strike 1. That's one of those ones that drops off the edge of the table, comes straight in and then drops straight down.
The Bears, he is known as Cullen Horowitz, a .359 hitter. That average has gone up since the beginning of this season. The power numbers have been there as he fouls off the 0-1 down the third base line.
Another one of those drop balls, that he was able to hold back on, but still was out in front enough that he tapped it foul.
Yeah, the power numbers were there early in the season, but the average really just wasn't. We saw the coming out game. It was a very good effort. He had a bat game number 6 of the season. The power number's still there, has hit 3 round trippers this year, has driven in 9. But it's good to see the sophomore have that average come up as well.
We've said it before, and we just got a chance to see it here. When he steps out and takes that practice cut, he does not, get cheated in any way as he watches this curveball that stays well up out of the strike zone for ball 1. He takes a big hack.
I get if you're Sign, the curveball has been working. But at that point, Horowitz has seen 2 consecutive breaking balls. If I'm him, I'm going outside corner with a fastball, rather than trying a third consecutive curveball to a power hitter.
Oh, there is that fastball hit high and deep into left field. Moving back on that one is Burnett. It's going to be over his head. It'll take one hop up against the top part of the fence. Burnett will get it back in quickly to shortstop Grant Harmon, standing at second with the first hit for Jefferson. A stand-up double. It's Cullen Horowitz.
And what a rope that was off the bat. He waited back, saw fastball, and raked it to left field. I thought there was a chance to make it out originally off the bat. Stayed in the ballpark. Cam Burnett did a very good job of tracing it to the warning track, taking the one hop off of the wall and getting it in. But some 2-out magic here for Cullen Horowitz. We've now seen some 2-out magic from each side now, as it was a double by Ashton Stobbs in the bottom of the first inning.
A 1 down right now with that runner at second base as the first pitch coming into Taylor Tennant misses high and outside. 1 ball, no strikes to the senior DH, batting in the spot of starting first baseman Jordan Trunnell. Tennant a .346 average, no homers, 9 driven in. Chokes up just slightly, about a half an inch of the bat out from underneath of his hands. Sends this one back up the middle off the front slope of the mound, in behind the second base bag, fielded by the shortstop Grant Harmon, ranging to his left. He sets his feet and throws in plenty of time to get Tennant for out number 2.
If this is a dry day, that's probably a single right up the middle for Taylor Tennant. I think that's the case where the baseball got caught on the wet ground and it slowed it down, because that looked very sharp, right up the middle off the bat of Tennant. But a very good job by Harmon realizing the ball's going to get slowed down on this wet grass and making a great play over to first.
Horowitz advances to third on that ground ball up the middle, so the game's first run just 90 feet away as Dylan McCartney takes strike 1. McCartney out of the number 7 spot, today's second baseman. A .333 average, 8 hits, 24 trips to the plate. No homers, he's driven in 5. The right-hand batter fouls this one straight back. Sign ahead in the count, 0-2, and give him credit. He is throwing strikes. Jefferson trying to put the ball in play quickly. I've had a fly out and a line out to the outfield, a couple of strikeouts and a ground out up the middle. 2 down with a runner at third, no score. We're in the top half of the second inning. Little light sprinkles still falling. The lights are on with the cloudy skies. Light breeze blowing out to left field. 0-2 pitch due. Here it comes. There's that off-speed grounded again towards the shortstop. Harmon has this one. His throw in plenty of time. Elijah Banks pulls it in at first base. McCartney grounds out and the inning is over.
Well, we saw another base runner reach second base again. Saw that in the bottom of the first inning, but nothing doing so far as we're still scoreless going to the bottom of inning number 2.
So a double with 1 out from Cullen Horowitz. Gets as far as third, but gets left there. 1.5 in the books here at Pigo Faulkner Park, and it remains Martinsburg 0 and Jefferson 0.
to prepare for what's next, or to plan ahead. We're here. Brown Funeral Home, a legacy of service since 1880.
Whether you need business cards, banners, magnets, office stationery, or promo material, Panhandle Printing and Design can make it happen. Call 304-267-7400 for a quote, or visit us on the web at panhandleprintdesign.com.
Moving to the bottom of the second inning, Zach Rose finishing his warm-up tosses. The Jefferson starter in the first threw 13 pitches, 9 for strikes. Did not give up a run, did give up a two-out double, but got a strikeout of Aaron Pearson to end the inning, and we are scoreless as we go to the bottom of the second.
It'll be Trey Sign stepping to the plate, a .367 hitter. 21 runs driven in on the season. Not a chance for that unless he can hit his first home run of the year in this at-bat, as he will be the leadoff batter, but a chance to help his own cause and get on base early in the bottom of the second.
You're looking at some pretty good RBI totals up and down this Martinsburg order, as Grant Harmon has driven in 15, Stobbs 17, Pearson 10, Sign 21, Pope 17, Burnett 16. It's a lot of RBI. They've been able to get it done. Big swing and a miss at a letter-high fastball. Count 0-1 now to Sign. The junior, today's starting pitcher with a .367 average, 18 hits, 49 trips to the plate. Right-hand batter against the left-hander on the hill, and this fastball works well outside. 1-1, the count evens.
Trey Sign 0 for 3 in the first meeting against Jefferson. Not a very productive day at the plate for Martinsburg. Just 2 hits in that ball game.
That was against Taylor Tennant in that loss. Here's a ground ball back up the middle, knocked down by Rose, who picks it up on that front slope of the mound, turns in plenty of time to still throw out Trey Sign.
Hey, you don't need it to hit the glove. All you need to do if you're at that point in the field, again, it's going to be a very short throw from the mound. You just got to get in front of it, and unintentionally, Zach Rose did. Again, the follow-through left him with his chest facing home plate, and he was able to just knock the ball down, step and throw, and make an easy throw to first base for the first out of the inning.
Well, and that ball a little bit wet. Zach Rose asked for another baseball from our plate umpire, Keith Allison. He'll get it after retiring Sign. 1 down, base is empty for Darrell Pope. Right-hander in the number 6 spot in the order. Swings through the first pitch for strike 1. Tell you, both head coaches have to like the way these pitchers are approaching it. They are throwing strikes coming right at the hitters.
I'm sure both head coaches in the dugout also saying, hey, guys, this may be a game where the first run wins it, so take advantage of opportunities at the plate as the 0-1 misses high, 1 ball, 1 strike on Pope.
Yeah, very high. Goes off the mitt of Colson Titus, who was coming up out of that crouch and sticking the glove up and had it hit the webbing and then carry him in behind the plate. So now 1-1 to Pope. .333 average, no homers. He's driven in 17. Tries to hold up, but went through the zone on a 1-1 pitch, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. That was a high fastball.
I think the bat held up, but you're never going to get that when the entire upper body shifts as well, and the umpire can see the numbers on the back of the jersey.
Now that 1 ball, 2 strike pitch on the way, just up and in, and it's 2-2. Pope does have 6 walks against 8 strikeouts, so an on-base percentage of .418. Nobody on, 1 away, no score. Bottom of the second here at P.O. Faulkner Park. Cloud cover and still a few sprinkles around, although it seems like a lot of the umbrellas have been put away. Pope bounces the 2-2 foul in behind home plate. Holding at 2 balls, 2 strikes. The lights on and have been on since warm-ups on this cloudy evening. Weren't expecting much rain here this evening, but a little front moving through, bringing some of that precip. Tomorrow, though, looks pretty good. Next couple of days, sunny and nice. Good job by Pope, staying back on the off-speed pitch, bouncing this 2-2 foul in behind home plate. 7th pitch of the at-bat coming up, really making the sophomore Zach Rose work hard to get the out.
Either way this pitch goes, or this at-bat goes, a very good at-bat for Darryl Pope regardless.
2-2 pitch, a high fastball, blew it right past him. Pope a little late on the swing, and that is the second out on the third strikeout for Zach Rose, and the first Bulldog strikeout swinging. The other two had come looking.
You mentioned it, both pitchers throwing very well right now, throwing strikes. Looking over the totals right now, just looks like 7 balls total that Zach Rose has on the mound through inning and 2/3.
Brings up Cam Burnett, the Bulldog left fielder, number 7 hitter, watches one down and inside. That is ball 1.
There's that broadcaster's jinx coming in right on cue.
No, there's no such thing. Burnett, the senior, with a .342 average. No homers. He's driven in 16. Takes this pitch high. 2 balls, no strikes. Pretty good. 16 RBI on 13 hits in 38 at-bats. Got a .432 on-base percentage when you add in 6 base on balls to just 8 strikeouts. Dogs as a team pretty efficient at the plate as the 2-0 is on the way. This one down low and in. That is ball 3, and Rose in danger of walking his first batter of the game, and that is going to get our catcher Colson Titus going out for a quick conference. The Bulldogs as a team have drawn 65 base on balls compared to 83 strikeouts. Still, I'd like to get that strikeout total down just a little bit, but not too bad as they've worked to make pitchers work.
All right, you can say what you want. If Rose walks Burnett here, it's the broadcaster's jinx.
No way. 3-0 on the way. Right down the middle for a strike now, 3-1. Okay, do you give Burnett the green light here? Your number 7 hitter with 2 outs and nobody on?
A guy hitting .342, I do. This is a hitter's count right here. If it's anywhere near the heart of the plate, give a hearty hack at it.
Well, he does just that and fouls it out of play first base side, and the count 3 balls and 2 strikes. Burnett on Saturday in the 14-4 win against Petersburg had a hit and a couple of runs batted in. So as you said, been swinging it well. They gave him the opportunity, and now got to protect the plate with the count full 3-2. Let's see what Rose comes back with. Big left-hander to the plate. Swing and a miss at that letter high pitch. And that's a pair of strikeouts in the inning and 4 in the ballgame now for Rose.
And what a big comeback at bat for Zach Rose. Cam Burnett ahead in the count, 3 balls, no strikes. Comes back with 3 hearty fastballs to get the strikeout, and 3 up, 3 down in the bottom of the second.
So we will head to inning number 3. When we come back to Pigo Faulkner Park, it is still Jefferson nothing and Martinsburg nothing.
If you're not progressing in healthcare, you're falling behind.
WU Medicine has planted itself here, and they're the first university that I've found who wants to take ownership of this population of Western Maryland, Southern Pennsylvania, Eastern Ohio, and the good people of West Virginia. And it's really refreshing to see.
I was able to do things that the patients were going away for, which is good for the patients, and it's good for us because we have more resources.
Certainly has helped take us to another level.
The National Maritime Center primary mission is to credential all U.S. mariners. We have approximately 250 employees here in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Most people aren't aware of the quality of life here in Berkeley County. We have a lot of employees that are from the area. We obviously have folks that have to do tours here, and it's kind of a little bit of a hidden secret of how nice the quality of life is here.
Here we go to the top half of inning number 3, scoreless with Jefferson at Martinsburg. As always, the third inning, our trivia inning. It's brought to you by the Hagerstown Sons and Haas's Steak and Sea in the Gakin Center on Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg. Hey, check them out on Facebook. And remember, for a great meal at a great price, stop by Haas's Steak and Sea, where your family wants to eat. Top of the third, we'll present a trivia question and the station telephone number. First to call and get through to Patrick Feely in the studio with the correct answer gets $30 in gift certificates to Haas's and 4 tickets to a future Hagerstown Sons minor league baseball game. Mason Lance, number 8 hitter and right fielder for Jefferson, takes strike 1 right down the middle from Trey Sign. Our top of the third underway. Colson Titus due next, then back to the top of the order. Inside-out swing and a low inside pitch. Hit pretty sharply but foul off the first base side. It's 0-2. The Suns, getting their season underway, have dropped 3 of their first 4 at Greensboro. They are at Lakewood tonight for 3. And then Hagerstown plays their home opener on Thursday night. We'll look to be there to bring it to you on TV 10. Off-speed pitch, down low. Lance lets that one go by. Now at 1-2 strikes. So check that out on Thursday night. As for past winners, we'll be picking up our Hagerstown Suns tickets tomorrow, finally available to us. So if you are a past winner of our third inning trivia and you're thinking, hey, that hasn't come in the mail yet, you are right, because we haven't mailed it. But once we get those tickets tomorrow, we'll get them in the mail on Wednesday. 1-2 pitch from Lance, bounced foul slowly down the third base side. Zeke Grissinger, assistant coach, comes out of the dugout, or at least from the low brick backstop wall that he is leaning against, to pick that one up and give it back to Sign. Give you the station phone number and the question in just a moment. 1-2 pitch, here it comes. Breaking pitch in there for a called strike 3. Boy, he's got that one working well.
He does. Again, it's a pitch that one just seemed to break top to bottom, like you said, falling off the table, if you will, a little bit earlier, just breaking top to bottom. And again, both pitchers with the curveball. A lot of times you won't see that working on a damp night like this in high school ball. Just don't have that control yet. But both pitchers, meaning Zach Rose and Sign, getting that breaking ball working early in this one.
1 out for the number 9 hitter, Colson Titus, who takes a fastball down low for ball 1. Our station telephone number 304-263-6540. 1-0 pitch right down the middle for a letter high or maybe belt high strike. Count now 1-1. Again, 304-263-6540. Write it down, get it in your phone, get ready to call. 1-1. Here it comes. There's that breaking pitch. Snaps down in there for a called strike 2. Today's trivia question: in the decade of the 2000s, 2 different teams won 2 World Series each in that decade. Can you name those 2 teams? 1-2 strike pitch comes back to that curveball, and that one stayed high, and it's now 2-2 strikes. Again, in the decade of the 2000s, 2 teams won 2 World Series each. Name those 2 teams. Fastball to the plate, sliced foul off the first base side. Count holding 2-2 strikes. 304-263-6540, the station telephone number. 304-263-6540. First to call and get through with the correct answer, picking up our Sons and Hosses prize package. Sign steps off the back of the pitching rubber, adjusts the bottom of the pants around his shoes, and now gets ready to go at Colson Titus with another 2-2 pitch. Here it comes. Hard fastball grounded in the hole between third and short. That is a base hit. Ryan Barger ranging over to his left. The third baseman fully extended, reaching high, just could not get to it, and that'll be the second hit for Jefferson.
And a chopper into the hole. It would have been a tough play for the third baseman, Ryan Barger, to make, but a perfect location off the bat of Colson Titus, protecting with 2 strikes, and is able to just dribble it into left field. And I'm sure Trey Stein, who's usually playing third base, is wonder if I could have got that one.
1 down, 1 on. Back to the leadoff hitter, and Hayden Stang, 0 for 1. Went the other way, a fly out to left his first time up. Jammed by this pitch, fights it off foul, first base side. A grounder for strike 1. Well, let's see if this lineup has learned anything from seeing Trey Stein the first time through. Toss over to first, keeping Titus close there. Titus, just a sophomore, good athlete. Sometimes you'll see that courtesy runner used for a catcher, but he is staying in there, stretching out his lead. Held on at first by Banks. Signed to the plate with a strike on the inside corner. He's ahead of Stang, 0-2.
Yeah, a lot of times you see like you said, the courtesy runner for the catcher. Colson was a guy that was a courtesy runner an awful lot last year.
You may see it once we get 2 outs. Let's wait and see. Of course, Sign hoping for the double play to get out of the inning. Runner is on the move. Pitch misses high and outside, and the throw down off the right field side of second base. And a nice job by Ashton Stobbs, the second baseman, backing up the play, keeping it on the infield, and holding the base runner as Titus gets a steal, now standing at second. 1-2, the count to Stang. He got a very good jump. Not much there that Aaron Pearson could do. Now that 1-ball, 2-strike pitch. Here it comes. That one stays high. 2-2. Stang had a pretty good at-bat his first time up where he got the count to 2-2. He eventually retired on that fly out to left.
And this is where Jefferson gets dangerous, when they are able to move guys station to station, get in scoring position, and take advantage of runners in scoring position.
Oh, nice pitch by Sign, right in on the hands of the left-handed hitting Stang. He got just a piece of it, but held on to by the catcher, Aaron Pearson. That is a strikeout, second of the inning, fourth of the game for Sign. 2 outs now with that runner at second.
And you could tell Hayden Stang was trying to rope that ball very hard down the first base line, standing in the left-handed batter's box. Took a hearty cut with 2 strikes. He was trying to score that run from second.
Brings up the senior, Corey Daly. First pitch to him, that what we're calling almost like a drop pitch, that curve that starts in, coming across the table about letter high and then drops down off the table across the strike zone.
I believe they call that the 12-6 curveball.
That works.
Goes from, if you're looking at a clock, goes from
Wait a minute, nobody uses
6.
clocks like that anymore. The 12-6, they're not going to understand that. It's a digital clock now. Swinging away at the 1-0, Daly sends a towering fly straight away center field. Moving back on it, Darryl Pope eventually gets under it and makes the grab. Oh, it's 375 to straightaway center field. That one probably went just about 360, but the park will hold it. Pope will catch it, and the inning is over.
And
The National Maritime Center primary mission is to credential all.
Jefferson not able to capitalize.
So a 1-out base hit, the second of the ball game for Jefferson, but again, and the Cougars will leave a runner stranded. We'll go to the bottom of the third when we come back with still no score.
Ron Hawker here. You have no idea what Johnny's goes through to bring you the best seafood around. We have snow crab clusters, shrimp, crab meat, fish, all the best seafood you want at Johnny's. It's a tough job out here, but our customers are worth it. Johnny's with 2 great locations, 1456 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, and Route 11 South in Chambersburg.
It's the late nights. It's the early mornings. It's working in the sunshine and rain and snow. It's the dedication, the care, the hours of training that led to the winner's circle. It's our job, our passion, our lives. We are the Horsemen.
With our third inning trivia, which may also answer a question that we had going into the fourth inning in our EPAC High School Baseball Roundup, because Spring Mills was supposed to be playing tonight. I believe it was James Wood, but we understand that the Spring Mills head coach is our trivia winner. That means they must not be playing, or he is multitasking. And that is pretty good.
You don't think he's sitting in his dugout listening to our game broadcast?
There is that possibility. No, there is no possibility of that. So
don't think he wants the athletic department knowing that at all.
Congratulations, Justin Combs. He is our third inning trivia winner. He'll get the Hosses gift certificates valued at $30, 2 $15 gift certificates, and 4 tickets to a Hagerstown Suns game. We'll give you the answer here in the bottom of the third as Elijah Banks, the Bulldog number 8 hitter, swings through a letter to belt high fastball for strike one.
Yeah, Banks just a 190 hitter. He's driven in 5 on the year, but not necessarily as many at-bats as a lot of the guys in this lineup have so far this season.
Yeah, 21 at-bats, 4 base hits. He has drawn 4 base on balls, so that's an on-base percentage of .308. He takes another strike here from Rose, and the count 0-2. Rose 0-2. Rose ready, the left hand. That huge cut. He strikes out. 5 Ks, 3 in a row now for Zach Rose.
I'm thinking he was expecting the curveball. A lot of times in this game so far, Zach Rose has come with 2 strikes with that curveball, and he was Banks was behind both fastballs that Rose threw him on the first 2 pitches. So once again, just overpowered him with that fastball, and Banks extremely behind that one.
Here we go to the number 9 hitter, Austin Bartley. Right fielder takes down low and away. Ball 1. The junior batting .375. That's 15 hits, 40 at-bats. No home runs. Has driven in 9. Here's that 1-0 to him. In on his hands. He fouls it off the first base side. Count at 1 ball and 1 strike. So let's get into the answer to our third inning trivia question. In the decade of the 2000s, 2 different teams won 2 World Series each. Name the 2 teams. Matt Crawford, you're up.
The Yankees in 2000 and 2009.
Wow, you don't have to give the years
and
or
then
nothing.
The Red Sox in 04 to break the curse of the Bambino, then in 07.
Now the 1-1 pitch on the way, and this one bounced along the first base line. Bending down to grab that one is Jordan Trunnell. He'll take it to the bag himself. Bartley goes the other way on that 1-1 pitch and grounds out 3 unassisted, 2 outs. Well, thank you for spoiling my thunder. It was the Yankees and the Red Sox, so we'll just leave it at that, yeah. Do you know who they beat? Come on, 2000 World Series, who'd the Yankees beat?
Is that the Marlins?
That was the Mets.
The Mets, okay.
The all-New York World Series.
They lost to the Marlins in 03.
Then in 2009, who'd they beat?
I'm trying to think in 09. I know both Red Sox. I don't know. Trying to think who it was in 09 for the Yanks.
Top of the order, Grant Harmon takes a pitch outside for ball 1. Think of a team that Bryce Harper might have signed with.
The Phillies. Oh, is that the Ryan Howard and
Raul
Ibanez?
That was the Phillies, yes. We'll get you to tell us the Red Sox World Series wins here in a moment as the 1-0 pitch down low to Grant Harmon. That one in the dirt. 2 balls, no strikes. The Bulldog leadoff hitter 0 for 1. Bounced out to the shortstop his first time up. The Red Sox defeated who in 2004 in that World Series?
I know 07 was the Rockies.
Tweet, tweet, tweet. 2-0 delivery on the way. This one up and outside. 3 balls and no strikes.
Cardinals?
It was a bird team. Yes, there you go. It was the Cardinals. Justin Combs says, ha, with an exclamation point on the text. The game has been canceled. So he was not multitasking. The game with Spring Mills not being played tonight because of the rain. 3-0 pitch on the way. I'm sure Harmon will take, and he does. It is a strike. Not right down the middle. That one kind of catching the outside corner at the knees. And as you mentioned, the Red Sox beating who in 2007?
The Colorado Rockies.
There you go. The answer to our third inning trivia. The big left-hander Rose to the plate, puts this one right down the middle. He has battled back to a full count.
Harmer didn't like that one. He thought that was high and inside as he was getting ready to throw the bat towards the dugout and take his trot down to first base. Now he's going to have to protect with a 3-2 count, 2 outs here, bottom inning number 3.
There is that 3-2 and a swing and a miss at a pitch in the dirt. Colson Titus plays it on one hop, stands up and applies the tag to officially retire Harmon. That is 2 more strikeouts in the inning. Zach Rose has struck out 6 through the first 3. He has set down the side in order in back-to-back innings, retiring 7 in a row. Heading to the 4th when we return. Still Jefferson nothing, Martinsburg nothing.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%. Parsons' goal of financing for all. And Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars, too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
The level of care that I got at WVU Medicine was top-notch.
If you're not progressing in healthcare, you're falling behind.
Is really an integration, looking at a clinical care network, looking at the good people who can help push the envelope and raise the bar for delivering a quality healthcare product.
To have my life back is absolutely a blessing. I'm beyond thankful for WVU Medicine. I absolutely 100% have my life back.
Along with Matt Crawford, I'm Matt Miller. Running our TV10 camera is John Alderton. Back at the studio, Patrick Feely. By the way, if you're looking for the video and don't have TV10, don't go to the Facebook page. Game broadcasts are on WRNR TV through the YouTube page. In-studio talk shows, those things are on the TV10 Facebook page. So just a reminder of that. Well, we are scoreless going to the top of the 4th inning between Jefferson and Martinsburg, and in with your play-by-play. Here's Matt.
Steve Lee will step into the left-handed batter's box. He was a fly-out victim to right field his first at-bat. First pitch to Lee, low and outside, 4-1.
All right, take that back, would you? He was not a fly-out victim.
I'm sorry, he was a rope line-out victim with Austin Bartley making a very good play in right field.
Yeah, he did. He put a nice charge into that baseball, probably deserved a hit.
The 1-0 fouled off behind home plate. 1 ball, 1 strike to Stevie Lee.
Hey, he's been hitting it well. Go back to last Tuesday, the 3-1 win against Spring Mills. He had a couple of hits, a triple, and a run batted in. He's been swinging a hot bat.
Here comes the 1-1 from Sign. Low and outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Through 3 innings, we have Sign now at right around 49 pitches. So both pitchers very efficient through 3 innings in this one.
Yeah, just 41 for Rose through 3 innings when he toast the pitching rubber in the bottom of the 4th.
The 2-1 to Lee. That one misses high. 3 balls, 1 strike.
If these two guys can keep throwing the way they are throwing, each has a chance to go the distance. We won't need our Bears repair call to the bullpen.
Not looking like it right now. Here's the 3-1. That one misses low and outside on the fastball. So the first walk of this ball game is Stevie Lee on 5 pitches. He reaches first, and the first base runner we've had with no outs in this ball game as well.
Oh, and let's see how manager John Lowry Sr. elects to play this one with the 4 and 5 hitters coming up. Rose, not a guy that you would expect to bunt, and he takes that first pitch, showing no sign he would bunt.
I can't imagine you bunt here, but again, it's John Lowry, so you can't put anything by him.
I just wondered if he might want to play for that early run. As you said, the way these guys have been throwing, seems like runs could be hard to come by.
Here's the 1-0. That one fouled off, deflecting off the catcher Aaron Pearson. 1 ball, 1 strike. And you see third baseman Ryan Barger playing inside the base path, just waiting to see if possibly Zach Rose is going to lay down the bunt, and maybe Rose not bunting, as Lowry was waiting to see what the Martinsburg infield would look like. 1 ball, 1 strike to Zach Rose. Stevie Lee stands on first. Here's the 1-1. This one fouled off down the left field line and out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Zach Rose.
Now your storyline through 3 says this could be low scoring. Jefferson, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left, both in scoring position. Martinsburg, no runs, 1 hit, have not committed an error. They left 1 in scoring position. 6 strikeouts for Sign, and on the other side for Rose, 6 strikeouts as well.
The 0-0 score did indicate it may be low scoring?
There was just a thought as I was saying that it could be an indication.
Sign did check over to first, nothing doing with Stevie Lee. Zach Rose on the 1-2, lifts it into center field. Camping under will be Darryl Pope. He'll make the catch, route number 1. Scampering back to first base will be Stevie Lee. 1 down here in the top of inning number 4.
Yeah, nice read by Pope as he saw that one coming off the bat and pretty casually moving to his left, tracked it the whole way and was able to make that grab, really angling towards right center field.
Now, can I consider that one a fly out?
That is a fly out because there was a lot of air underneath of that one as opposed to the line drive from Stevie Lee.
With you. Colin Horowitz will step in to the right side of home plate. Came in after a double his first at-bat as he elevates one into left field. Running under it is Darryl Pope again, and he'll bring it in for out number 2. A routine fly ball to center field. Tailing a little bit back towards center field as Cam Burnett was making his way over to left center, but ball tails to Darryl Pope in center, and on just 1 pitch, Colin Horowitz is retired.
Yeah, Pope only had to range a little bit to his right to be able to get under that one. Horowitz, who had that well-hit deep double into straightaway left his last time up, took a hearty cut at that first pitch and just missed it.
So Stevie Lee still standing on first base, reached on a walk to get this inning started, and then back-to-back flyouts to center field as Taylor Tennant, now the batter here, is he will step out and collect himself, and resetting on the mound will be Trey Sign.
Mentioned earlier, Sign's record 3 wins and 1 loss. His last victory came last Monday on April the 1st.
The first pitch to Tennant in the dirt. Good scoop at the plate by Aaron Pearson. Taking second base easily will be Stevie Lee as that ball low from Aaron Pearson, taking a couple hops to get to Grant Harmon at second base. So now a runner in scoring position. We'll see if that comes back to haunt the Dogs again. This may be a game where one run will win it, as we've seen, and you went down those numbers a little bit earlier this inning.
Likely seeing that go down as a wild pitch, as that one in the dirt gave Stevie Lee just enough time to break for second and get in ahead of that throw.
Trey Sign will step off the back of the rubber and go through the pitches yet again. 1 ball, no strike, the count to Tennant. Sign does get his sign, and here's the 1-0. Another one in the dirt, but Lee will have to hold at second. Great block at the plate by Aaron Pearson. Ball kicking a little bit to his right, but staying in front of him enough. That is a smart base running play by Stevie Lee. One of the biggest rules in baseball is don't get the third out at third base.
The last couple of pitches, Sign overthrowing.
The 2-0 inside to Taylor Tennant with the fastball, so 3 balls, no strikes.
Not necessarily the worst thing that could happen if he does issue the base on balls, as it would put runners at first and second and give you a force out at either third, second, or first to end the inning.
Here's a 3-0. That one misses inside, so a walk on 4 pitches as Taylor Tennant jogs down to first base. He at first, as Stevie Lee still standing at second. It looks like Kurt Zarnecki will make his way out to the mound and have a chat with his pitcher, who up until this inning was pitching extremely well and extremely efficient. Top of this 4th inning, not yet gotten away from Trey Sign. If he can get out of this inning, no harm, no foul. The pitch count goes up a little bit more than it had the previous innings, but if the third out can be recorded here with Stevie Lee still at second base and Taylor Tennant still at first, no harm, no foul.
6 strikeouts through 3 innings without a base on balls. No strikeouts here in the 4th inning. 2 walks that he has allowed. Has gotten a pair of flyouts to center. So still, if he makes the right pitch, gets out of this unscathed.
Dylan McCartney will step up. He grounded out to shortstop his first at-bat. McCartney, the second baseman in today's contest. Here's the first pitch from Sign. That one right down the pipe for strike 1.
Yeah, McCartney with a ground out to short his first time up, and hey, he's been swinging it pretty well. On Saturday in Game 1 of the doubleheader against Greenbrier East, he had a triple and a run batted in.
2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Here's the 0-1, a breaking ball down the line. Barger has it. He will step on third, and Sign gets out of the inning. So not the best inning we've seen on the mound for either team, but Trey Sign does get out of it, and the Dogs get out of it without giving up a run. Still 0-0 as we will head to the bottom of inning number 4. This is high school baseball on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
It's one of the toughest times you'll ever face when someone close to you passes away. It's a swirl of papers to sign and arrangements to be made, all while you're dealing with grief. At Brown Funeral Home, we encourage you to pre-plan. Pre-planning not only makes things easier for you, it protects you from rising costs. At Brown Funeral Home, our families are precious to us, and so are yours. Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown, Ranson.
Life can get in the way these days. We all know that. Work commitments, social commitments, volunteer commitments, family commitments. You put your heart into all of it. You've got enough to worry about already. Your roof shouldn't be one of those things. Everything should just work. But when your roof is in need of an upgrade, you shouldn't have to worry about that either. Modern Renovations, your 4-state roofing solution. Reminding you that home is where the heart really is.
We head to the bottom of inning number 4. Still locked at 0. Neither team has been able to get a runner around to touch home plate in a pitcher's duel. Trey Sign got out of last inning. 2 walks. It was one to Steve Lee to start the inning. Then a walk issued to Taylor Tennant, but a ground ball to Dylan McCartney at third base. He stepped on the bag to retire Dylan McCartney to end the inning. So no harm, no foul. Through 4 innings, we have Trey Sign at 61 pitches. So still relatively efficient for him through 4. Stepping up to the plate, the first batter here in the bottom of the 4th inning will be Ryan Barger. He was a strikeout-looking victim, his first at-bat in the first. And a swing and a miss on the first pitch, down 0-1.
You talk about leaving runners on base. 4 left on so far for Jefferson, 1 at third base. They have left 2 at second base and 1 runner at first base.
Here's the 0-1 from Rose, and a check swing called at the plate. Barger now down 0-2. Not sure whether that was a call at the plate or whether he said that that Barger went around with the bat. Could have seen it either way. No balls, 2 strikes to Barger. Here's the 0-2 from Rose. Fastball high and outside, ball 1.
Martinsburg, by the way, stranding 1 base runner. That was in the first inning. The 2-out double from Ashton Stobbs, who will bat here in this half inning, and he was left in scoring position at second base. So not a lot of opportunities for either team.
Here's the 1-2 from Rose. Curveball in the dirt, and a check down to first base. Didn't think that Barger went even close to a round, but our first base umpire disagrees, and it'll be Barger's second strikeout on the day and the first out of the inning for Jefferson.
That is Brian Collins as our first base umpire. The appeal comes from Keith Ellison behind the plate, and the call of a strikeout makes it 6 Ks now for Rose.
Now to bat is Ashton Stobbs as he steps out to collect himself.
Rose up to 19 strikeouts on the season as he had 13 coming in.
It was a double for Ashton Stobbs back in the first inning. The first hit for the Dogs is his first cut. He fouls off behind our press box location for a long strike 1.
I'm at here in this bottom of inning number 4. Check out EPAC baseball as a whole. A couple of 10-plus game winning teams here.
The 0-1 lifted into right field. Camping under it is Mason Lance. He makes the catch to retire Ashton Stobbs for out number 2.
Yeah, got a pretty good read on that one as he continued to backpedal sideways so that he was ready to sprint if he needed to, but was easily able to track that one down.
Catcher Aaron Pearson will step to the plate now, hoping to find some 2-out magic for the Dogs. He was a strikeout victim looking his first at-bat in the bottom of the first inning. Here's the first pitch from Rose. Breaking ball, breaking in for strike 1.
You look at Martinsburg coming in, winners of 11 of their last 13. 11-5 on the season. Break it down to 2 wins in a row and 5 wins in their last 6 games. Have really been playing well after a bit of a slow start.
0-1 from Rose. The fastball misses high. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Jefferson 13-1 since their only loss in game 2 of a doubleheader against Morgantown. They've reeled off 9 consecutive victories.
Here's the 1-1. Big, hearty cut all the way through for Aaron Pearson. He's now down 2 strikes to 1 ball.
So a chance for Jefferson to get that win streak to double figures, something they have done many times in their career under John Lowry Sr.
The 1-2 pitch to Pearson. He fouls it off, just staying alive with 2 strikes and 2 outs here in the bottom of inning number 4. He lives to see another pitch.
Coach Lowry Sr., 47 years as a high school baseball coach, 1,318 victories, 344 losses, and 3 ties.
Everybody chasing him on the active win list across the country in high school baseball. He sits atop that among with many other records for high school coaches. The 1-2, Pearson again lifts this one over the first base side out of play, and it'll go over both fences as somebody will have the fun job of tracking that one down, but Pearson fouls off his second straight pitch to stay alive here in the bottom of inning number 4.
Now's the easy time to track them down. The weeds have not quite started to grow the way that they will grow on the other side of the fence that is the outside, technically, of P.O. Faulkner Park. By the end of the year, those will be a little more difficult to come up with.
Once again, the 1-2 from Rose. That one misses high and inside, almost grazing the left shoulder of Aaron Pearson. He ducks out of the way. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Now, you may have heard the groan from the Jefferson faithful, thinking perhaps that one caught the inside corner against the right-hand batter. And now Titus going to go out to talk with Rose, a little catcher-pitcher conversation.
Well, I got to say, I believe this is the longest game I've done featuring Jefferson where I've not seen a mound visit.
Hey, Rose has been throwing well. No need to head out there yet.
2s across the scoreboard, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of inning number 4. Here's the payoff from Rose. Breaking ball, that's lined right back up the middle for a single from Aaron Pearson. Great at-bat for Aaron Pearson. We'll call that 7 pitches in that at-bat, and could be the start of a little 2-out rally, or what Martinsburg hopes can be a 2-out rally. He reaches aboard first base with a single.
Well, you know, they'd like to get one of those a little earlier in a half inning. Their double back in the first came with 2 outs.
It'll be Trenton Sherman, the courtesy runner for Aaron Pearson, the catcher. So with 2 outs, he will go get his gear on, as Trey Sign will hope to help his own cause on the mound and drive Sherman around to score. Here's the first pitch to Trey Sign. That one misses low and away for ball 1.
Well, Zach Rose having to work a little harder this half inning, very similar to what we saw from Trey Sign in the top of the 4th inning.
Left-handed pitcher, so Sherman not getting a huge lead, but he will go for second now as Sign fouls one off on a possible hit-and-run opportunity. He'll foul that one off down the first base line, out of play.
Yeah, Sign late on that one, fouled it out of play, as you say, first base side. That means he was trying to go the other way with that one. Get it out into right field. Get it by McCartney, who's vacating that second base area to get over there and cover the bag with the runner in motion.
Rose comes, sets, and he will check back over to first base, but Sherman on the run. He will get into second easily as that ball gets away from Jordan Trunnell. Now we have a run down at second, but nobody back at second base, so Trenton Sherman will catch his breath at second base, and I'm sure try his very best not to make eye contact with Aaron Byler standing at third base, who paces a little further up the line than he usually does. But a great opportunity to get Trenton Sherman caught in a pickle between first and second.
That may
But
very
Jordan
well.
Went off the glove of Jordan Trunnell.
Yeah, that'll go down more than likely as an error on the first baseman, because if he catches that one, steps to his right, he should have a lane to throw to the shortstop at second, and Daly could have applied the tag. Instead, the throw unable to be made as the ball went into foul territory.
So here's the 1-1 to Sign, looking to drive a runner in. Sign sends it down the right field line. That's going to be a fair ball down the line. Trenton Sherman wheeling around third base. He will score with these, and the Dogs will take a 1-run lead here in the bottom of the 4th inning. A RBI single down the right field line for Trey Sign as he helps his own cause. And the Dogs scrape across the first run of the day with a little 2-out magic and a little bit of help from first baseman Jordan Trunnell.
Sign picks up his 22nd run, batted in on the season. Great piece of hitting going the other way to bring in the game's first run. And now let's see if he can go back out on the mound and have an effective 5th inning, and we're going to have another courtesy runner.
This one looks like it's going to be number 14 that we do not have on our roster.
We'll check with Coach Lynch.
Darryl Pope is
Darryl
coming
Pope is
to the plate.
Aaron Butler, thank
Aaron
you
Butler.
very much. So Aaron Butler serving as the runner.
It'll be Darryl Pope at the plate as a check back as Butler dives in safe to first base as Rose trying to keep the runner on as a error by first baseman Jordan Trunnell allowed Trenton Sherman to get to second base and score on the single to right field. Is now coming off the field will be Jordan Trunnell.
That'll be 32, Luke Payne, who now takes over at first base.
So not sure.
A defensive change.
Yeah,
Trunnell's
not
had
sure.
a couple of throws over. He hasn't handled cleanly. Coach Lowry Sr. going to make the change.
Definitely doesn't give too many second opportunities. Or shouldn't say second opportunities. Doesn't give a chance to escalate. And he can read players better than anybody. So now that we have the defensive change again, it's going to be Luke Payne playing first base as Darryl Pope, the batter, still waiting to see his first pitch as Zach Rose checked over to first, but Butler was back. So here's the first pitch, and that one's flied off the bat of Darryl Pope. into shallow center and goes off of Dylan McCartney, the second baseman, going back, and coming around to score will be Aaron Butler, as we have a player still down in right field, and I do believe that is Dylan McCartney.
Yeah, it is. McCartney and the center fielder Lee collided as McCartney was going out. Lee was coming in and to his left. I'm sure both guys probably hollering, and so neither one heard each other. And McCartney really had that arm extended as he made contact. So you got to wonder what damage may be there to either the arm or the shoulder. Stevie Lee stayed down for just a brief moment, but he is up and walking around in the outfield, so it looks like he is going to be okay. And Martinsburg really catching a break there with that ball in no man's land to take a 2-0 lead.
And again, we hope McCartney is okay, as he is now sitting up in right field. That one is going to go down as a single. A tough play for anybody to make, but probably was a Stevie Lee's baseball to get. That would have been a very tough play for Dylan McCartney to make, backpedaling and running into shallow right field as McCartney is up and to his feet and will make the walk back to the dugout down the first base line. So trying to see who may be the defensive sub at second base.
No, looks like he's going to stay in.
McCartney's going to stay in, runs it off a little bit, meets pitcher Zach Rose and catcher Colson Titus. As maybe just a case where the wind got knocked out of Dylan McCartney. You said his hand was extended, so maybe just a quick jab to the rib cage and a quick loss of breath, but he will stay in at second base, and had a whole host of coaches and athletic trainers going out to check on him, so he will stay in at second base. Martinsburg did get a run across on what is going to go down as a single to a shallow right field.
I think more than likely it ends up going down as a double as Pope goes to second base as that ball gets banged around, but the only reason it got banged around was the collision. I don't think you call an error on that in any way as the two guys collided going after that baseball. So I would say that would be a double for Darrell Pope as he puts himself in scoring position with his fourth double of the year.
And did not waste any time. The first pitch he saw after a check over to first base, a defensive replacement at first base. Darrell Pope had to wait about 2 minutes to see the first pitch of his at-bat. Did not wait any longer as he sent a towering ball that was falling quickly. And again, Dylan McCartney and Stevie Lee colliding. But everybody seems to be okay. Martinsburg, some two-out magic as they lead 2-0 here in the bottom of inning number 4. First pitch to Cam Burnett is low and inside for ball 1.
Well, I'm glad that turned out better than last year. Remember in the regional final, Xavier Nawaz in left ran into Spencer DeLauder in center as Martinsburg beat Washington in Game 3 of that best-of-3 series, and Nawaz suffered a very badly broken leg, and that was very close to being a similar situation here, but thankfully the collision not really, head-on, not quite the same impact.
Second pitch to Cam Burnett, the 1-0 misses high again. 2 balls, no strikes. Darrell Pope standing on second base. 2 outs here in the bottom of inning number 4. Checking back is Zach Rose. He does make the throw to second, but Pope back in plenty of time.
Yeah, second baseman sneaking over there. McCartney hoping he could catch Pope napping.
Pope wanted nothing to do with it. Gets back to second base as the 2-0 will come to Cam Burnett. Here's the 2-0. That one again misses high and outside. 3 balls, no strikes. So it was a single by Aaron Pearson, a single by Trey Sign, and then a double by Darrell Pope, all with 2 outs in the inning. Both runs coming with 2 outs as well. 3-0 the count now on Cam Burnett. Here's a 3-0 from Zach Rose. That one catches the outside corner. A good frame job at the plate by Colson Titus as the ball initially looked a little bit outside, but did a very good job of framing it and bringing it back in. So 3 balls, 1 strike. Here's the 3-1 from Rose. That one misses low and away. Well, ball 4 as Burnett will make his way down to first base. So the 4th consecutive base runner we've seen with 2 outs here in the bottom of inning number 4. And Martinsburg taking advantage of base running opportunities here in the bottom of this inning.
First walk allowed by Rose in the top of this 4th inning. We saw a couple of walks for Trey sign. You wonder if on this damp evening both pitchers may be getting a little tired on the hill.
Elijah Banks up to the plate, takes ball one high.
And as soon as I say that, Zach Rose pops a fastball in there and says, I'm not tired, sir.
Elijah Banks struck out in his first at-bat back in the third. 3 consecutive strikeouts. He did not look comfortable on any. Here's the 1-0 fastball inside as Titus pops up, looking to maybe throw back behind Cam Burnett at first base. Luke Payne stayed in his fielding position. 2 balls, no strikes, now the count to Elijah Banks. Here comes that 2-0. Strike right down the heart of the plate.
Well, perhaps taking all the way till he sees a strike in this at-bat, making Rose work.
Again, Banks came in a 190 hitter, has driven in 5 on the year, could have number 6, standing at a second base with Darryl Pope. Here comes the 2-1, that one catching the upper edge of the strike zone, much to the dismay of a couple of members of the press box up here.
And the Martinsburg faithful, including the dugout.
2 outs here, bottom of inning number 4, as a step-off turn to second base as Pope gets back in safe. Very close to a balk, it looked like from our angle.
Especially with the runner at first.
Yeah, it looked like Rose lifted up and started to go forward before turning around. No balk called. So here's the 2-2 to Banks. That pitch misses low. The count full at 3-2. Maybe possibly should have been a balk. We'll give you that borderline pitch as ball number 3 because that one looked like it caught the low inside corner of the strike zone and should have been a strikeout looking.
In every game, it's equal opportunity umpiring. Somebody's going to be not happy at the end of the game.
Exactly. 3-2, 2 outs here in the bottom of inning number 4 is stepping back to second. Another pickoff attempt at second, but Darryl Pope back in safe.
Well, Matt, we talked earlier in our roundup about these 2 teams. How about the Hedgesville Eagles at 12 wins, 3 losses on the season? Did suffer a loss against Fort Hill last Thursday, but bounced back with a 14-0 win over Greenbrier East on Saturday.
Here's the 3-2 pitch, 2 outs and a ball hit back up the middle, and it'll be a single into center field for Elijah Banks. Turning around, third base is Darryl Pope. He will score with ease standing up, and the Dogs get their 3rd run with 2 outs here in the bottom of inning number 4. They lead Jefferson a 3-0. A great piece of hitting by Elijah Banks on a full count to send it right back up the middle. That's his 6th RBI of the season.
Yeah, outstanding. Now 5 hits and 6 runs batted in on the year. Didn't try to do too much. Just stayed back, let the ball come to him, and put it right back through the box.
So again, it was 3 consecutive singles from Pearson, a sign, and Pope, make it a double from Pope. Then a base on balls to Cam Burnett and a RBI single for Elijah Banks to bring up Austin Bartley in the bottom half, or the bottom of this Martinsburg order. He takes the first pitch he sees low and outside for a ball 1. A good job by Colson Titus sliding over to keep that ball in front of him. Here comes the 1-0 from Zach Rose. That one misses high and inside. 2 balls, no strikes.
And again, Rose laboring just a little bit, falling behind hitters where he had been getting ahead of hitters earlier. Getting back to Hedgesville, they were supposed to play at Hampshire tonight. Didn't see anything on the game changer. Not sure if they got rained out.
Here's the 2-0 to Bartley. Takes strike 1 outside. Good pitch to lay off. Bartley wasn't going to be able to do a whole lot with where that fastball was located, so good take by Austin Bartley in the number 9 spot.
Yeah, Rose got that one where he wanted it, knee-high outside part of the plate.
Here comes the 2-1 from Rose. That ball misses outside. 3 balls, 1 strike. So 1 pitch away from loading the bases and bringing up the top of the order in Grant Harmon. Harmon would be the 9th batter that Jefferson has seen here in the bottom of inning number 4.
Didn't see that coming when the first 2 batters were retired.
Rose steps off the back of the rubber. He will reset with catcher Colson Titus.
It's all been 2-out damage.
Here comes the 3-1 to Bartley. A big swing and a miss by Bartley. He was trying to score both on base with that swing of the bat. Count will be full now. The runners will be on the move with the pitch with 2 outs. So a ball hit deep enough into the outfield will easily score 2 with both on the move.
Yeah, you find a gap or a line, you got a chance for 2 more to score.
Here comes the payoff pitch, and a swing and a miss, and Rose gets out of it. Bartley strikes out to end the inning, but what a 2-out rally for the Dogs. They score 3 runs with 2 outs on 2 singles, one by Pearson, one by Sine, a double by Darrell Pope to score all 3 runs, and they have the 3-0 lead as we will go to the top of inning number 5 here at P.O. Faulkner Park. This is high school baseball on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
The National Maritime Center primary mission is to credential all U.S. mariners. We have approximately 250 employees here in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Most people aren't aware of the quality of life here in Berkeley County. We have a lot of employees that are from the area. We obviously have folks that have to do tours here, and it's kind of a little bit of a hidden secret of how nice the quality of life is here.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
3-0 as we head to the top of inning number 5. Martinsburg scoring with a little 2-out magic in the bottom of inning number 4. Actually, it was quite a bit of 2-out magic. It was, again, a single from Pearson, a single from Sine, a double from Darrell Pope to score those 3 runs, all with 2 outs in the bottom of inning number 4. We're at P.O. Faulkner Park. Those of you who were looking to tune in on the radio side for the Washington Nationals taking on the Philadelphia Phillies, we do not have that one for you. But they are tied in the top of inning number 5, 2-2 in the city of brotherly love.
Hey, you know what we do have, though, for our listeners after we wrap up here? The Men's Basketball National Championship game. Tip-off's around 9:20. We'll maybe get there before the tip or possibly right after the tip between Virginia and Texas Tech.
Trey Sine back on the mound for his 5th inning of work. He will face Mason Lance, who takes ball 1 inside. Here's the 1-0 to Lance. That one catches the inside part of the strike zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lance struck out looking back in inning number 3.
A long wait there for Sine as Martinsburg sent 8 to the plate, and we had 36 pitches thrown by Zach Rose. So let's see if Sine can get back into a rhythm or if it's a little difficult after the long wait.
Sine misses the 1-1 inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. For those of you keeping an eye on Harper Watch Part 2 against the Nationals, he is 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout. As Mason Lance lifts one to left field, tracking it back is Cam Burnett. He gets under it on the warning track and will make the catch, backpedaling, and will end up leaning against the fence in left field for a tougher route than I was expecting off the bat, but a good job tracking it down by Cam Burnett for a long out number 1.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of times you'll see that left fielder kind of get himself twisted around trying to get back, find the fence, the warning track, and make sure he tracks the baseball. But that was very well played by Cam Burnett.
Yeah, by Cam Burnett, or by Mason Lance, bringing up a Colson Titus in the number 9 spot. Titus catching today as his first pitch he sees. He fouls behind the Jefferson dugout down the first base line. No balls, 1 strike.
Hedgesville and Jefferson scheduled to play tomorrow as we continue our high school baseball roundup. That should be a good one, as the last time they met, Jefferson scored a 6-0 win at home against Hedgesville. See if the Eagles can answer tomorrow night. We'll get on the air 6:40, 7 o'clock the first pitch.
The 0-1 to Titus misses high, 4 ball 1. Titus reached on a single back in inning number 3. Would get the second on a stolen base. Here's that 1-1 inside for strike 2. So far in this inning, Trey Sine has been working hitters inside. Haven't seen him miss one outside yet or hit the outside edge of the strike zone. All have been on that inner half to right-handed batters.
Yep, trying to jam them, get it in on their hands.
Here comes the 1-2, and Titus towers one into the infield, getting underneath. It will be Trey Sine hauling it in and keeping his balance for out number 2. Not a whole lot of times you see pitchers having the best angle to get the baseball, but Sine was confident in his ability to make that catch told Banks and Stobbs to stay where you're at. I got this one. He hauls it in for out number 2.
He's used to catching those as a third baseman. So as you said, got a good angle, could see it, read it, got there and made the catch.
There is something different about getting a pop fly off the mound, though.
Oh, yes.
You can take as many of those as you want in practice. Nothing can mimic that in the game. Back up to the top of the order now. It's Hayden Stang as he takes the first ball he sees outside of the stir on the outer edge of the strike zone for strike 1.
Time being taken, a ball getting away off the first base side. That one looks like it came all the way from the bullpen down the right field line.
And apparently the player whose job it is to stand behind and watch for balls was not paying attention as one got, again, almost to the on-deck circle. Here's the 0-1 to Stang as he sends one to Grant Harmon at shortstop. That goes off of Harmon's palm. He'll try to make a throw over to first, and a tough play to make. It gets by Banks at first. Nobody will advance as Aaron Pearson hustling down the line to back up Elijah Banks. Banks would have had to make a very acrobatic play as Harmon spiked that one in the dirt about 4 feet in front of Elijah Banks, so that's going to go down as a E6.
How about the hustle from Aaron Pearson, though? The catcher was right where he needs to be. He's following that runner down the line, so when that throw was Aaron's, he's able to scoop it up in foul territory and make sure that the batter does not take the extra base.
So Hayden Stang aboard via the air. Taking strike 1 is Corey Daly.
Now we've talked about 3 of our EPAC teams. Let's quickly hit the Spring Mills Cardinals. They were scheduled to take on James Wood tonight. That one got rained out, so next up Spring Mills is at Hampshire tomorrow. The Cardinals trying to snap a 3-game slide that now has them at 10-7 on the season.
Checking back over to first base was Trey Sign. Nothing doing. Stang back in as the 0-1 to Corey Daly misses in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And rounding out our look, the Musselman Applemen and the Washington Patriots did get a game in earlier because they started at 4:30 down in Charlestown before the rains came. Tell you what happened.
Here comes the 1-1 as Corey Daly fouls one off. Back almost. The field's behind us as we have a young spectator running that one down in the light poles. So saving one of the dogs a trip back to get that one. I'm thinking probably a little brother they conned into staying up there, so they didn't have to keep running over there and getting those. Here comes the 1-2. Sign spikes this one right in front of the dirt. It gets by Aaron Pearson. On the move was Stang to second anyway. He will get in with ease, make a wide turnaround second base, but have 2 retreat. So now runner in scoring position.
Yeah, call it a stolen base because he was off with the pitch. Just picked a great pitch to run on as that one hit the dirt well out in front of the plate and then skipped right up over the catcher and the umpire. Hey, mentioning that Musselman game earlier at Washington, the Applemen get the win by a final of 12-6. Musselman has now won 3 of their last 4. They are 7-4. They'll play at Spring Mills tomorrow. Washington at Martinsburg tomorrow, now 0-13 with today's loss.
Here's a 2-2 to Daly. He takes that one high and inside of 3 balls, 2 strike. The count full. That Sign will have to reach in the arsenal for this one. An attempt to strike Corey Daly out for the second time in this one. Daly was a strikeout victim back in the first. Here's the 3-2 and a towering fly ball. That one going to center field. It'll be Darrell Pope moving in as he camps under it for the third out of the inning. Is it moved, or he was just a little off of where he thought he was, making the unique play in center field, having to step to his left rather quickly as the ball was approaching, but does get it in for strike 3. A none across for Jefferson in the top of inning number 5. Martinsburg still the 3-0 advantage. We'll be back for the bottom of the 5th coming up next. This is high school baseball on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
Ron Hawker here. You have no idea what Johnny's goes through to bring you the best seafood around. We have snow crab clusters, shrimp, crab meat, fish, all the best seafood you want at Johnny's. It's a tough job out here, but our customers are worth it. Johnny's with 2 great locations, 1456 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, and Route 11 South in Chambersburg.
Life can get in the way these days. We all know that. Work commitments, social commitments, volunteer commitments, family commitments. You put your heart into all of it. You've got enough to worry about already. Your roof shouldn't be one of those things. Everything should just work. But when your roof is in need of an upgrade, you shouldn't have to worry about that either. Modern Renovations, your 4-state roofing solution, reminding you that home is where the heart really is.
Three-0 your scores. We head to the bottom of inning number 5. It'll be the top of the order for the Dogs. Grant Harmon set to step in. 0 for 2 on the day. It was a strikeout back in the third inning, a ground out to short to get the game started in the bottom of inning number 1.
Matt, while we have an opportunity, thanks goes out to each of our sponsors: Miller Honda, Cox Holiday Professionals, CPAs, Brown Funeral Homes, Miller's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Mirius Group, and Ameriprise Financial, WVU Medicine Berkeley and Jefferson Medical Centers, Bechtel Jewelers, Parsons Ford, WH Miller Systems, D&N Auto, the Mortgage Center, the Hagerstown Sons, Haas's Steak and Sea, Bears Repair. The final score, that's a postgame coming up, and Atlantic Security. And they'll have a look at our stats in the postgame show. Remember, don't be a statistic. Call Ben Copenhaver at Atlantic Security.
Again, big thanks to Patrick Feely back at the studio, and the candy man next to me, John Alderton.
That's Taffy Man.
Sorry, Taffy is candy.
Yeah, it's weird candy.
Do you have to correct me on everything?
No, I'm just saying it's
me, man.
weird candy.
You're
it's not like...
No, it's sugar and not a whole lot of anything else, so that makes it candy.
I guess that's true.
So what is why is that not candy to you? Why does it got to be a specific genre of candy?
Because I can't handle candy that rips fillings out because I have a mouthful of those.
Well, maybe you should let the taffy soften a little bit and not eat rock-hard taffy.
It's hard to do that because the taste hits your tongue and your mouth automatically says, chew! And I don't have the discipline to stop.
I was going to say, that's a you problem, not a taffy problem.
What? Wow.
I'm not saying it's a bad problem. I'm just saying that is a...
Can you help? Can you?
I'm not sure. That's something you have to deal with on your own. I'll give you as much moral support as possible, but that's something you're going to have to change in your own lifestyle.
Taffy therapy. I need it.
Looks like we do have a pitching change for Jefferson as Grant Harmon steps in. First pitch to Harmon misses low and away, efforting a number on our new pitcher. Looks like number 45 will be Cullen Horowitz, as Horowitz's second pitch to Grant Harmon in for a strike number 1. So now a new third baseman as the 1-1 to Grant Harmon, low and outside, ball 2. Looks like it will be Zach Rose at first base as the 2-1 catches the outside corner, 2 balls, 2 strikes. As again, we will effort to get that third baseman for you. Guessing maybe Taylor Tennant as the 2-2 misses high above the head of Grant Harmon. The count goes full, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, that one got away from Cullen Horowitz. Looking at pitching totals, and I do not see any pitching totals so far this season for Horowitz, so it might be the first time on the hill this year for the sophomore.
3-2 from the Bear, and Harmon will foul that one off down the first base line.
So the count holds at 3-2. Yeah, looking back through the totals, first opportunity for Horowitz to throw this season after, I believe, throwing just a little bit last year as a freshman.
3-2 again to Harmon. Catches the outside corner for a strike 3 looking. Harmon, I'm thinking, thought that was a little on the outside corner. Didn't sell it overly well as he just stood there. And he will sit down, kind of swinging the bat back and forth in frustration.
Yeah, may very well recognize just where that one was, and then he kind of got fooled by the pitch.
Yeah, great location for Horowitz. That's the first pitch to Ryan Barger, misses inside, ball 1 as Barger bails out of the way on a ball that was inside. Not sure quite as inside as Barger made it appear. 1 ball, no strikes.
Barger 0 for 2, just trying to put the ball in play right now.
The 1-1 catches the outer edge of the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. So here's the 1-1 to Barger. That one low in the dirt. The 2 balls, 1 strike.
Now looking at the totals for Zach Rose, 4 innings as the starter, gives up 3 runs on 5 hits. He struck out 8 and issued just 1 base on balls. Not all of those runs his responsibility thanks to the error in that 3-run fourth.
3-1 as Barger takes the 2-1 high and inside. So Horowitz falls behind, 3 balls, 1 strike to the second batter he's faced after 4 innings of work from Zach Rose. The 3-1 low and outside, ball 4 and a walk issued to Ryan Barger.
Well, he battled back and ended up getting Harmon, but then fell behind 3-1 and could not battle back to get Barger. Martinsburg needs to try to take advantage of that with the 3, 4, and 5 hitters coming up.
That 3 hitter will be Ashton Stobbs as he steps in the right-handed batter's box. He had a double in the first and a fly out, or as Mr. Miller liked to call it, a rope down the right field line stabbed by Mason Lance.
Actually, that one I put in F9.
Oh, you put an F9? Yeah, I figured everything to right field was...
No. All depends on the trajectory and how quickly the ball gets out there.
First pitch to Ashton Stobbs, misses low and gets by a catcher, Colson Titus. Moving to second is Ryan Barger on the pass ball.
Sorry I used that big word trajectory on you, but...
That is a big word for me.
Yeah, thank you, John.
The peanut gallery standing to my left, adding some more big words for me.
He taught us annotate early.
He did. You didn't even know that one.
No, I did not. No. I've not been a good annotator through the years. That's why I got into radio and not the written side of media.
Here's the 1-0 to Stobbs. That one misses inside. 2 balls, no strikes. So Cullen Horowitz struggling a little bit to find the strike zone in what we have as his first outing of the year on the hill.
Yeah, not sure if it's the release point, but every ball that he's got seems to be tailing in on the right-hand batters.
That one's staying inside, but Ashton Stobbs turns on it and sends that one deep down the left field line, going back into the batting cages next to the new indoor hitting facility and clubhouse here at P.O. Faulkner. The 2-1 lifts into left field, shallow left field. Camping under it will be Corey Daly for out number 2.
Looks like a 2-9 Mason Lance who has taken over at third base. And now we'll have to see who went into right field. Always something.
Okay, so Mason Lance at third, and now our mystery player in right field. 2 down. That's coming to the plate, and wearing the first pitch he sees is Aaron Pearson, and he will jog down to first base. So we will get courtesy run. It looks like Trenton Sherman will come back in to run for Pearson. Trenton Sherman came around to score the first run of this ball game back in the bottom half of the fourth. It was just last inning, starting the 3-run, 2-out rally in the bottom of the fourth. So coming to the plate now will be Trey Sign. Runners on first and second, and hoping for some more 2-out magic like they had in the bottom of the fourth.
And he was a part of that with an RBI base hit with those 2 outs.
First pitch to Sign misses low in the dirt for ball 1, and making his way to the mound is Jefferson head coach John Lowry Sr. Doesn't look like we're going to get a pitching change. I haven't seen any indication of it, so maybe just a chat with the sophomore Horowitz.
You look back at the first meeting between the two. Martinsburg mustered up just a run on 2 hits. They've scored their 3 runs on 5 hits. an error committed by Jefferson, as they also committed an error the first time these two teams met. Jefferson scored their 3 runs on 4 hits. Martinsburg did not commit an error in that one back on the 19th of March. This game is played out in a very similar fashion, although the home team, Martinsburg, getting the better of Jefferson just as they did as the home team against the Bulldogs last month.
One other sign after the count on sign after the meeting on the mound is over, and sign pops this one up into shallow center field, camping under it and going off the glove of Dylan McCartney, and another run scores. Coming around third to score is going to be another run. That'll be safe at the plate, will be Trenton Sherman. So 2 runs come across on the air, the fielding error by second baseman Dylan McCartney. As Ryan Barger came around to score, then wheeling around third base was Trenton Sherman, and he will score to make it 5-0 Martinsburg, and the 5th run scored with 2 outs here in this ball game for the Dogs. And again, a looked like relatively routine pop fly into shallow center for Dylan McCartney, and it just went off the palm of his glove. Now standing on second base with the E4 is Trey Sign. So going back to second base, he pick off attempt, and Trey Sign's picked off.
Now that is Aaron Butler serving as the courtesy runner picked off there.
So Aaron Butler gets picked off. Courtesy runner for pitcher Trey Sign, who had made his way back to the bench. So Martinsburg does get 2 in the inning, but Butler is picked off to end the inning after a error that allowed the 2 to score off the glove of Dylan McCartney. So Martinsburg now the 5-0 lead as we head to the top of inning number 6. This is high school baseball on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
If you're not progressing in healthcare, you're falling behind.
WU Medicine has planted itself here, and they're the first university that I've found who wants to take ownership of this population of Western Maryland, Southern Pennsylvania, Eastern Ohio, and the good people of West Virginia. And it's really refreshing to see.
I was able to do things that the patients were going away for, which is good for the patients, and it's good for us because we have more resources.
Certainly has helped take us to another level.
Prepare for what's next, or to plan ahead. We're here. Brown Funeral Home, a legacy of service since 1880.
It was a unique bottom of inning number 5. Martinsburg scrapes 2 more across home plate off a fielding error by second baseman Dylan McCartney, popping off the palm of his glove on a fly ball to shallow center field. Wheeling around to score was Ryan Barger, and Trenton Sherman, courtesy running for Aaron Pearson. Getting on second base after a play at the plate was Aaron Butler, who got picked off before a pitch could be thrown to Darryl Pope to end the inning. So we are now on the top of inning number 6 with Martinsburg ahead 5-0.
Well, and Martinsburg able to put those 2 on the board without the benefit of a hit, kind of doing to Jefferson what Jefferson tends to do to others.
Leading off, it will be Stevie Lee here in inning number 6. The first pitch he sees, he fouls off behind home plate for strike 1.
And that went up and into the left-hand batter.
Trey Sign still on the mound for the Dogs. Cruising through 5 complete so far. The 0-1 pitch misses low in the dirt. Good block by Aaron Pearson. 1 ball, 1 strike to Stevie Lee.
He's now up around 79, so the next pitch would be roughly 80. I can't imagine, unless he gets out of this half inning quickly, that he would come out to try to close this one out.
Here's the 1-1 to Stevie Lee. Low in the dirt again. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Well, he's had a couple of walks and no strikeouts over the last 2 innings after throwing 4 strikeouts and no walks through the first 3 innings.
The 2-1 misses inside. So Stevie Lee now ahead in the count. 3 balls, 1 strike. Stepping off the back of the mound, fixing the lower part of the pants is Trey Sign, then working quickly once he gets back on the mound. The 3-1, that one misses low and inside, and a base on balls for Stevie Lee, who reaches for the second straight at-bat on the walk.
Now, Lee came in with 2 walks in 43 at-bats, so to add 2 more in this game, showing some good patience at the plate.
Zach Rose stepping to the plate. He went 4 strong on the mound for Jefferson. 3 strong and then a unique 4th inning before being relieved by Cullen Horowitz in inning number 5. The first pitch he sees in for strike 1. Here's the 0-1 to Rose, and he lifts that one into center field. A deep fly ball to Darrell Pope, who will camp under it and bring it in for out number 1.
And again, I think maybe on another night in this ballpark later in the year, that ball might have a little more travel to it. But that one also came out off the end of the bat just a little bit.
Yeah, the wind not blowing a whole lot here at P.O. Faulkner. It goes through spurts where that flag in left field is completely down with no flow in it at all. Right now, looks like the wind pushing a little bit to center field, but again, not affecting the ball a whole lot. A steal to second base, and in safe is Stevie Lee, as that ball does get into center field past Grant Harmon. Past Grant Harmon and Ashton Stobbs, that is, into center field.
Yeah, easily steals that base on the pitcher Sign as he got a tremendous break. Not sure Pearson really even needed to throw it down there.
Now the ball misses low and inside. 1-0 the count now on the batter, Cullen Horowitz, your current pitcher for the Jefferson Cougars. Here's the 1-0 to Horowitz, and a hardy cut that he fouls off and dribbles back behind home plate to the wall. 1 ball, 1 strike.
A hardy cut. Does he take one any other way?
No, he does not. Which is why he leads this team in home runs with 3. Although Stevie Lee has added 2.
Yeah.
But 3 home runs on the season. Also has a double in this one back in the second inning.
It's amazing, too. You look at the build, and Horowitz, big, has that bulkiness, that strength look to him in that right-hand batter's box. Lee looks more like a runner, which he is very good at running, but has that sweet and fast swing in the left-hand box.
The 1-1 to Horowitz, the off-speed pitch, he waited on but just couldn't hold up enough, as there was good hesitation at the plate by Cullen Horowitz. You saw him send that weight back, but just couldn't weight back enough as he sends one down the third base line about 3 feet to the left of third base. 1 ball, 2 strikes, now the count on Bear. Getting a fresh set of balls is our home plate umpire.
Jefferson just trying to get a run across right now, as they have just the 2 at-bats left and down to 5 outs. Got to at least dent that scoreboard and hope that maybe that's enough of a break in the dam to get a few more.
Here's the 1-2 from Sign, and a curveball in the dirt that Horowitz swings and misses on. A throw down to first base, and that's going to get by Elijah Banks. So coming around to score will be Stevie Lee. Going to second base will be Cullen Horowitz. So scoring on the E1, as it was a swing and a miss in the dirt. Aaron Pearson took a few steps inside the base line and just made a low throw to Elijah Banks at first base. And Jefferson has plated one here in the top of inning number 6.
So make it the E2 on the catcher, not on
make that
pitcher
E2 on the
in
catcher.
that one. Yeah. Just did not get the ball down there. Banks reaching down, trying, hoping to play it on a bounce. One of those rare occasions where you get the strikeout but still reach.
Stepping up to the plate now will be Taylor Tennant as he sends one into left field past the outsprawled Grant Harmon. Just moving up 1 base will be Cullen Horowitz. So now runners on the corners as the first pitch Taylor Tennant saw roped into left field.
He'll pick up his first hit of the night and just the 3rd for Jefferson on the evening, as they had 1 in the 2nd, added 1 in the 3rd, and now they get the base hit here in this 6th inning.
A unique play for Cullen Horowitz, as he had to kind of freeze because Grant Harmon did have it would have been tough, but did have a slight play on that baseball, so Horowitz couldn't immediately go on that, so he's only able to advance one base as Dalton Reed will now be our batter for Dylan McCartney.
Batting here in the number 7 spot in the order. Key at bat in this 6th inning.
First pitch to Reed, outside for ball 1. Again, McCartney involved in that collision out in right center field back earlier in this one, and had a error in the field to allow the latest 2 runs to score for Martinsburg as Reed comes through with a pinch hit RBI single into left field. Coming around to score is Cullen Horowitz, and Jefferson cuts the lead now 5-2. Martinsburg up by 3.
And I tell you, Coach Lowry pulling the right strings as Dalton Reed came into that at bat. 7 hits in 14 trips with 9 runs batted in. That's a .500 average and a .529 on base percentage with a walk and 4 strikeouts. He came up with a clutch hit there, and don't look now with just 1 out in a 3-run game and 2 on base. Jefferson, could still lay one down, do all kinds of things to try to put pressure on that defense.
And it looks like we're going to have a pitching change, and it looks like Ashton Stobbs was the one running into the dugout, possibly getting a different glove to toss. As everybody's still staying in right now, Trey Sign is still in the infield, so would expect him.
Sign has gone over to third base.
Yeah.
That's where
he usually plays.
Right, that's where Barger had been.
Well, this pitching change brought to you by Bears Repair at 904 Winchester Avenue in Martinsburg. Need an oil change or a complete overhaul? They do it all. For your automotive repair needs, call the certified mechanics at Bears Repair. Phone 304-262-0208. Well, Ashton Stobbs gets in his warm-up pitches. We're going to take a 1-minute timeout, then come back for the remainder of the top half of inning number 6. Right now it's Martinsburg 5, Jefferson 2. This is high school baseball on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
Life can get in the way these days. We all know that. Work commitments, social commitments, volunteer commitments, family commitments. You put your heart into all of it. You've got enough to worry about already. Your roof shouldn't be one of those things. Everything should just work. But when your roof is in need of an upgrade, you shouldn't have to worry about that either. Modern Renovations, your 4-state roofing solution. Reminding you that home is where the heart really is.
The National Maritime Center primary mission is to credential all U.S. mariners. We have approximately 250 employees here in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Most people aren't aware of the quality of life here in Berkeley County. We have a lot of employees that are from the area. We obviously have folks that have to do tours here, and it's kind of a little bit of a hidden secret of how nice the quality of life is here.
Top of inning number 6, 1 out, as Ashton Stobbs will relieve Trey Sign. Expect Sign to go back to third base. The final numbers on the starter sign: he went 5 1/3, gave up 4 hits, struck out 4, and walked 3. So not the overly powering strikeout number to walk ratio we're used to seeing from Sign.
He's responsible for the 2 runs that have scored as well as the 2 that are on base as Stobbs takes over.
Again, Trey Sign now at third base. As I believe Ryan Barger will now go to second base. Mason Lance, the batter, as he swings through the first pitch he sees for strike 1.
Yeah, good high hard fastball from Stobbs, who's making his 5th appearance and his first out of the pen. His prior 4 games, he had started each one.
Here comes the 0-1, low and outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. So at first base is Dalton Reed. He came through with the RBI single. And standing at second base is Taylor Tennant. Here comes the 1-1 from Stobbs. Fouled out of play. Mason Lance fouls it down the first baseline, out of play.
And looking at the rest of the number on Staub's 2 wins, 2 losses, has worked in 19 innings, allowing 19 hits, 14 runs with 6 earned, 27 strikeouts to only 6 base on balls, and an ERA at 2.21.
Here's the 1-2 from Staub's, high and outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes to the batter, Mason Lance.
And a lot different coming in relief than when you get that start. See if Staub's can settle in quickly here in this half inning.
Here comes that 2-2 breaking ball. Misses high and inside as Mason Lance had to duck. Avoid that ball hitting him in the left ear.
Hey, he kind of leaned forward, actually, and let the pitch go behind him. It's not usually what you do.
Anything to get out of the way.
Yes.
Here comes that 3-2. Swing and a miss on a high inside fastball. Mason Lance goes down on strikes, and Ashton Staubs retires the first batter. He sees a strikeout on 6 pitches and a big second out of this top of the 6th inning.
Colson Titus due, and it will be Titus out of the number 9 spot making his way to the plate. They had a pinch hitter earlier who had a big hit. I wondered if Coach Lowry might go to the bench in this situation.
Again, confirmation, it is Ryan Barger now at second base. He was at third. Trey Sign now at third base with Staubs on the mound. First pitch to Titus, a high foul ball that will get out of play down the right field line. No balls, 1 strike.
Titus has singled and has popped out to the pitcher 1 for 2. He could use a base hit here. Remember, Martinsburg doing their damage with 2 outs in that 4th inning and got it done without the benefit of a hit, scoring 2 more in the 5th inning.
The 0-1 to Titus in there for strike 2. As Titus watches it go by right down the heart of the plate, it looked like from our vantage point.
Had a little bit of movement right at the end of that pitch. May have fooled Titus.
A big pitch here for Ashton Staubs to get out of this inning. Already 2 runs across for Jefferson. Here's the 0-2 as Titus fouls it off behind home plate, staying alive.
Good job by the sophomore. Ball on the outside part of the plate, waited on it, tried to go the other way, fouled it out of play. Runners were on the move, by the way, with that pitch to the plate. Coach was expecting Staubs to bring one to the plate, and Coach Lowry got it right.
Looks like at second base with a shoe untied was Taylor Tennant. Apparently all knotted back up and play back underway. 0-2 the count on Colson Titus. 2 outs here in the top of inning number 6. Martinsburg the 5-2 advantage. Here's the 0-2 breaking ball, misses high, ball 1.
Well, not a bad pitch. You were hoping you might be able to get one that he would chase, but that one clearly missed way up out of the strike zone.
Yeah, if you have to look up, that's usually your indicator to let that one go. 1 ball, 2 strikes is here's the pitch and fouled off again by Colson Titus. Right in front of Matt Miller on the screen behind home plate.
Just to the right-hand side.
You could have made the play if there was no wall there and no screen and the door was open and you had those kind of reaction skills.
And I had a glove.
Other than that, a pretty easy play for you to make.
I'm not sure I was ready to stick the bare hand in front. Plus, I have a pen in that hand, which would have made the
would have
catch
looked like blood
more
because you
difficult.
have a red pen.
Yeah.
Stops, looks in, gets his sign, comes set. Here's the 1-2, breaking ball, roped down the line. A great snag by Trey Sign. Will he beat him to the bag? He does with the tag, beats Taylor Tennant to the bag. It was a foot race, and Sign was able to make the great diving play at third base. Tennant just about a step too slow in his reaction time, and able to beat him with the tag is Trey Sign as Tennant was diving into third base. A great defensive play for the guy who started the inning on the mound and went 5 1/3 strong. Jefferson does get 2 across here in the top of inning number 6, but Martinsburg still holds the 5-2 lead as we head to the bottom of the 6th when we come back. This is high school baseball on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%. Parsons' goal of financing for all. And Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars, too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
Ron Hawker here. You have no idea what Johnny's goes through to bring you the best seafood around. We have snow crab clusters, shrimp, crab meat, fish, all the best seafood you want at Johnny's. It's a tough job out here, but our customers are worth it. Johnny's with 2 great locations, 1456 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, and Route 11 south in Chambersburg.
Now batting number 27, Daryl.
Daryl Pope, the batter to start the bottom of inning number 6. And it looks like at second base now will be Dylan McCartney, who was pinch hit for as the first pitch to Daryl Pope. In for strike 1.
Yeah,
Wasn't sure if McCartney was going to come in or if he would re-enter as a starter, but he does at second base as Pope takes the 0-1 pitch right down the middle for a strike 2. So McCartney's still at second base after Dalton. So a very good pinch hit by Dalton Reed, getting the job done in the top of inning number 6. The 0-2 to Daryl Pope outside as he watches ball 1 go by.
Yeah, Pope had an RBI double and scored a run his last time up, part of that 3-run 4th inning. He's 1 for 2.
Pope a ground ball to shortstop. It's Corey Daly with it over to first base to Zach Rose for the first out of the inning. Make that a 6-3 for out number 1.
Well, he needed every bit of that strong arm to get the out. Looked like he wanted to come in and then decided to sit back on it and not end up having to take an in-between hop and then put everything he had on it to get the throw over.
So some regional baseball fun facts for you. Chris Davis now holds the record for consecutive at-bats without a hit by a position player at 47. First pitch to Cam Burnett outside for ball 1. Gets away from Colson Titus momentarily, but is able to corral it back in. So 0 for 47, or his last 47 is Chris Davis.
That is tough.
Not necessarily crush anymore. Here's the 1-0 as flight into right field is Cam Burnett. Getting under it is Mason Lance, or who is in right field right now. We had a sub in right field. So maybe Mason Lance may not. No, Mason Lance now at third base.
Yeah, now at third.
So I believe that may be Taylor Tennant in right field. I'm trying to think of who batted and who.
Right.
So we're going to call it Taylor Tennant making the out, if that's all right with you.
I'm okay with it as we get to our next batter. By the way, you could change his name now to Swoosh Davis.
Swoosh Davis.
That's the sound of the swing and the miss.
Elijah Banks takes the first pitch he sees right down the middle for strike 1.
No longer crush, but swoosh. Of course, Nike may say something, although theirs is a swoosh. This is more of a swoosh.
The 0-1 to Banks, fouled off at the plate. Elijah Banks down 0-2.
That is a difficult stat.
And a guy that you just root for. I was at the O's game Saturday night. He came up with the bases loaded and an opportunity late in that game in the 8th to send one into the outfield and score a couple runs and tie it up, and just couldn't do it.
And the fans were cheering.
The 0-2 to Elijah Banks, a breaking ball that comes back inside. All Elijah Banks can do is look at it for strike 3, a 1-2-3 inning for Cullen Horowitz. And we will go to the top of inning number 7 when we come back. Right now, 5-2, the Martinsburg advantage. Jefferson down to their last 3 outs. This is high school baseball on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
It's the late nights. It's the early mornings. It's working in the sunshine and rain and snow. It's the dedication, the care, the hours of training that led to the winner's circle. It's our job, our passion, our lives. We are the Horsemen.
If you hang the WVU Medicine sign, certainly has helped take us to another level.
Evolving what we try to do as physicians and as a health system and organization is the mission of WVU Medicine, and it's an exciting mission to be a part of.
With the knowledge and the years of practice that they've put into this institution, you know, they know a lot. They can help you, and they've helped me a lot.
Having people treated locally enhances their overall care.
Top of inning number 7. Martinsburg with the 5-2 lead, and to take you the rest of the way, back over to Matt Miller.
Martinsburg hoping the rest of the way is 3 outs as Ashton Stobbs will try to close this one out and secure the victory for Trey Sign. Hayden Stang out of the top of the order, making his way to the plate for a 4th time in this game. And Stobbs delivers a fastball up and away for ball 1. Ashton Stobbs came in that 6th inning, faced 2 batters, got a strikeout, and then a fielder's choice ground ball out to get out of the inning without any further damage as Jefferson scored 2 runs. Stang takes a strike on the outside corner, now 1-1. Stang is flied out to left, has struck out swinging, has reached on an error, holds up on a fastball up and away, and it's now 2 balls and a strike. Lights on, light breeze blowing out towards left. Here's a fastball, stays high. 3-1 now to Stang. Stobbs went 3-2 before striking out Lance, the first batter that he faced in that 6th inning. Let's see if he can battle back here, and he does. I think Stang thought it was off that outside corner, but it's kind of the old automatic, and it's 3-2. Now he's got to protect the plate. That 3-2 delivery on the way, swing and a miss, and he just blew that one right past him.
A good job battling back in that at-bat. Hayden Stang, a great at-bat at the plate as well, but Ashton Stobbs just coming back with his 2 best pitches to get the strikeout.
He's up to 29 strikeouts now on the season. 1 down, nobody on, 5-2. Martinsburg with the lead, and Corey Daly, shortstop and number 2 hitter in the order, stands in, and the right-hand hitter sees a fastball high for ball 1. He's up for a 4th time. Has struck out and then twice has flied out to center field. 1-0 inside and hit him. That one got away from Stobbs, and Daly took that one almost right between the 3 and the 0 on the back of the jersey. So the hit by pitch will give Jefferson a 1-out base runner and bring up Stevie Lee. Lee has walked each of his last 2 times up after a line out to right in the 1st inning. Stole a base and came around to score in the 2nd. And the pitch off the outside corner. Ball 1. Martinsburg hoping they don't bat in the bottom of the 7th. If they do, the 9-1 and 2 hitters would be due. Jefferson needs at least 3 runs to make that happen, trailing 5-2. Runner at first with 1 away. Lee swings through the 1-0, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, if we've learned anything from this game, it's that an inning is not complete until you get 3 runs. Cause
you mean 3 outs?
Or 3 outs, rather.
For Jefferson, it would be 3 runs. Can't make the last out, guys, until we've scored at least 3. If it were only that easy. Toss over to first, as that one sends Daly back. Storyline through 6, 5 runs, 5 hits, a couple of errors, 3 left, 2 in scoring position for Martinsburg. Here's that 1-1, a wave and a miss. Lee may have helped him out with 1 down and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jefferson 2 runs on 4 hits, a couple of errors. They've stranded 7, leaving 5 on base. Martinsburg scored 3 in the 4th inning, all coming with 2 outs, added 2 more in the 5th inning without the benefit of a hit, a walk, a hit batter, and an error helping to plate those runs. Jefferson answered with 2 in the 6th inning. Lee, a little late on the swing, goes down on strikes, going after that high and inside 1-2 fastball.
Zach Rose going to step to the plate now as the last guy that Jefferson can count on to get on base. If he can't, then this one's going to be over without Martinsburg having to bat in the bottom of the 7th. Jefferson's going to need a ferocious 2-out rally. They need 3 to keep playing.
Banks holding the runner on, and Stobbs makes a toss over. Daly goes back in standing. Zach Rose looking for his first hit, has struck out swinging, and twice has flied out to center. Here comes the pitch. That fastball high and outside. 1 ball and no strikes to the left-handed hitting sophomore. Jefferson plated their 2 runs in that 6th inning on a couple of hits, an error, and a walk. Choking up on the bat slightly, Rose steps out. Must have been verbal. He never put the hand back, but was granted time by our plate umpire, Keith Allison. Stobbs taking too much time. Now he's ready. From the stretch with the runner at first and the pitch, and that fastball outside. 2 balls and no strikes. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So we're looking at about 23 pitches right now that have been thrown by Stobbs. Wonder how long he'll go. If he reaches 31 pitches, he's going to have at least 1 day rest. Not sure what Coach Byler is thinking on his pitching rotation with coming games this week. His pitch up and away. 3 balls and no strikes. The runner at first with his lead. He stays, and the pitch right down the middle. And it's 3-1 with 2 outs and a runner at first. And Martinsburg leading by 3. Jefferson at the plate. Top of the 7th inning. Been a good one. Been a fun one. Between 2 regional foes, these teams would not meet in the playoffs until the best of 3 regional series. Meaning each has to win a sectional championship in order to get to that stage of the game. Now the pitch. A called strike, belt high on the outside corner. I've got the count now at 3-2. Scoreboard says 2-2. Our umpiring crew checking, and yep, it is a full count. So here we go as Rose steps in. The left-hand batter against the right-hand pitcher. Stobbs ready. Here it comes. Fastball. Foul tipped and hung on to by Aaron Pearson. That is a strikeout that will bring the game to a close, and Martinsburg gets a big 5-2 victory over Jefferson. It will snap the Cougars' 9-game winning streak.
Wasn't the cleanest played game. Once we got to the 4th inning on either side, it looked like it was going to be a pitcher's duel all the way through till we got to that 4th inning. But Martinsburg did what they had to do going back into inning number 4. They got 3 runs with 2 outs, scraped a couple more across in the 5th. Jefferson was able to play it a couple in the 6th, but just wasn't quite enough, and Martinsburg will extend their record to 12-5 on the season, while Jefferson picks up just their 2nd loss on this season.
Yeah, 13-2 now for the Jefferson Cougars. Well, we'll tell you all about it as we come back. We'll get into our postgame show, brought to you by The Final Score, with plenty of screens to watch the games, pool tables, trivia nights, and great food and drink selections. Meet your friends at The Final Score, 1517 Winchester Avenue, just south of Martinsburg. Again, our final score here tonight at P.O. Faulkner Park. It is the Martinsburg Bulldogs beating the Jefferson Cougars 5-2.
It's one of the toughest times you'll ever face when someone close to you passes away. It's a swirl of papers to sign and arrangements to be made, all while you're dealing with grief. At Brown Funeral Home, we encourage you to pre-plan. Pre-planning not only makes things easier for you, it protects you from rising costs. At Brown Funeral Home, our families are precious to us, and so are yours. Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown, Ranson.
Life can get in the way these days. We all know that. Work commitments, social commitments, volunteer commitments, family commitments. You put your heart into all of it. You've got enough to worry about already. Your roof shouldn't be one of those things. Everything should just work. But when your roof is in need of an upgrade, you shouldn't have to worry about that either. Modern Renovations, your 4-state roofing solution. Reminding you that home is where the heart really is.
Well, we'll tell you all about it as we come back. We'll get into our postgame show, brought to you by The Final Score with plenty of screens to watch the games, pool tables, trivia nights, and great food and drink selections. Meet your friends at The Final Score, 1517 Winchester Avenue, just south of Martinsburg. Again, our final score here tonight at P.O. Faulkner Park. It is the Martinsburg Bulldogs beating the Jefferson Cougars 5-2.
Life can get in the way these days. We all know that. Work commitments, social commitments, family commitments. You put your heart into all of it. You've got enough to worry about already. Modern Renovations, your 4-state roofing solution. Reminding you that home is where the heart really is.
The National Maritime Center primary mission is to credential all U.S. mariners. We have approximately 250 employees here in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Most people aren't aware of the quality of life here in Berkeley County. We have a lot of employees that are from the area. We obviously have folks that have to do tours here, and it's kind of a little bit of a hidden secret of how nice the quality of life is here.
Jefferson, 2 errors
Yeah.
as well.
Same for the Dogs. Get ready.
For what?
Well, back again here at Pigo Faulkner Park, getting into our final score postgame show. Let's quickly recap the scoring in this one, as neither team could dent that scoreboard through the first 3 innings. Jefferson did not score in the top of the 4th, but Matt, bottom half of the 4th inning, Martinsburg put 3 runs on the board after the first 2 batters were retired. Ryan Barger out on a strikeout, Ashton Stobbs a fly out to left, then Aaron Pearson reaches on a single. He would advance on an E3 on a pickoff opportunity. Trey Sign would then deliver an RBI single. Darrell Pope, an RBI bloop double, where you had a collision between center fielder Stevie Lee and second baseman Dylan McCartney after a walk. It was Elijah Banks with a base hit up the middle. He delivered a run batted in, and Martinsburg put 3 on that board in the 4th inning to take the 3-0 lead. In the way that Trey Sign was throwing, that seemed like a pretty safe lead.
Yeah, one thing that I mentioned in the pregame show was Jefferson's one of those teams that they're going to capitalize on any mistake you allow a base runners to get on, and that is exactly what Martinsburg did in that 4th inning. They got runners on with 2 outs and were able to move them around and score, playing small ball. Nothing special about it. It was just good old-fashioned baseball, and they were able to get 3 runs in the bottom of that 4th inning, and that would have been all they needed. They were able to scrape off another couple in the 5th inning, which gave them a little bit of padding for Trey Sign and then Ashton Stobbs, but it was really that 4th inning that was the difference in this ballgame.
Well, and in that 5th inning, 2 runs scoring for Martinsburg without the benefit of a hit. So there was a walk, a wild pitch, a hit batter, and a fielding error that allowed the Dogs to add to the lead. At that point, 5-0. Jefferson finally putting 2 on the board in the top half of the 6th inning, as they would get a walk after 1 out, a 3rd strike wild pitch followed by an error, allowed a run to score and put another runner in scoring position after a Taylor Tennant single. It was Dalton Reed called on in a pinch hitting role. He delivered an RBI single, but that's when Martinsburg head coach Aaron Byler went to the bullpen, and a great job by Ashton Stobbs to come in and get a strikeout and a fielder's choice ground out, ending that threat. And then Stobbs able to retire 3 of the 4 batters he faced in the 7th inning, giving up just 1 hit by pitch. And in the end, your final score, Martinsburg 5, Jefferson 2. Send it to the studio, take a 1-minute timeout. We'll come back and wrap up our final score postgame show with numbers from this one. It's West Virginia High School Baseball on Talk Radio, WRNR and TV 10.
If you hang the WVU Medicine sign, certainly has helped take us to another level.
He literally saved my life. It's just mind-boggling to me that he was able to do what he did.
We're able to affect much more of a difference for our patients with these resources.
Having people treated locally enhances their overall care.
They treat you great, and they're down to earth in the West Virginia way that all West Virginians treat each other.
Ron Hawker here. You have no idea what Johnny's goes through to bring you the best seafood around. We have snow crab clusters, shrimp, crab meat, fish, all the best seafood you want at Johnny's. It's a tough job out here, but our customers are worth it. Johnny's with 2 great locations, 1456 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, and Route 11 South in Chambersburg.
Now time to wrap up the final score post-game show, as we will look at the numbers. These game stats brought to you by Dynamark Atlantic Security. Hey, don't become a statistic. Protect your family and home with local alarm professionals at Dynamark Atlantic Security. They have the solutions to meet your needs and local monitoring, too. You can learn more by calling Ben Copenhaver at 304-671-2158. We begin with the pitching totals for Martinsburg. Trey Sign, 5 1/3 innings, gave up 2 runs on 4 hits. He would strike out 4 and walk to 3. Ashton Stobbs, an inning and 2/3 in relief. No runs, no hits. Struck out 4, did not walk a batter, hit 1. Zach Rose, tough luck loser today for Jefferson. Allowed 3 runs, not all his responsibility on 5 hits in 4 innings. Struck out 8 and walked just 1. Cullen Horowitz, 2 innings in relief. 2 runs not earned, no hits. 2 strikeouts, 1 walk, and 1 hit batter. Looking up and down the lineup for Jefferson, well, they ended up with 4 base hits, and you are talking about a double from Cullen Horowitz, singles from Taylor Tennant and from Dalton Reed. Reed with an RBI single, and Colson Titus added a single as well. Martinsburg, 5 hits in the ball game, and that included a double from Ashton Stobbs, a single and a run scored from Aaron Pearson, an RBI single for Trey Sign, an RBI bloop double for Darrell Pope, and an RBI single for Elijah Bank. Final totals for Martinsburg: 5 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors, 3 left, 2 in scoring position. Jefferson, 2 runs, 4 hits, 2 errors. They stranded 8, 5 in scoring position. Sign 4-1 with the win. Rose falls to 2-1 with the loss. Time of the game, 2 hours and 8 minutes. Martinsburg now 12-5, and Jefferson falls to 13-2. So next up tomorrow, what do we got?
Musselman at Hedgesville.
No.
It's not Musselman at Jefferson at Hedgesville. I'm sorry. I was thinking back to the Musselman score from earlier because I was trying to recap all the games in my head, so Musselman was on my mind. Jefferson, we'll see the Cougars tomorrow again. They'll be at Hedgesville. I got the location right.
You did, and I'm looking forward to that matchup to get an idea of, how it plays out, how this Jefferson team responds after a tough loss here against a Hedgesville team that's trying to bounce back after a 6-0 loss down at Shenandoah Junction just a couple of weeks back.
It'll be interesting. Both teams fighting for a bounce-back victory in different ways. Again, like you said, it'll be a game-on-game bounce-back for Hedgesville. As again, it was Jefferson getting the better of them in their first matchup, but it'll be a next-day kind of bounce-back attempt for this Jefferson team, and I expect Jefferson to come out and look a little bit sharper tomorrow.
Game stats brought to you by Dynamark Atlantic Security. To learn more, call Ben Copenhaver, 304-671-2158. And our postgame show brought to you by the Final Score at 1517 Winchester Avenue, just south of Martinsburg. Enjoy the game. Meet your friends at the Final Score. All right, that wraps up our coverage here tonight. But again, weather permitting, and it does look like a decent day tomorrow. We'll be out at Hedgesville as Jefferson and Hedgesville tangle for a second time. Game time 7 in the pregame at 6:40. Well, the opening tip for the national championship should be taking place just as we speak. We're going to take you to that national championship game in Minneapolis, Minnesota right now as we wrap up here. Special thanks to each of our sponsors supporting our coverage of high school baseball. Thank you for joining us at each of our Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10 entities. Thanks to both head coaches providing information and interviews, to the athletic director, principal, and all the staff here at P.O. Faulkner Park for their help and support with our broadcast coverage. Patrick Feely is our studio engineer. John Alderton running the TV 10 camera for Matt Crawford. I'm Matt Miller reminding you tonight's final: Martinsburg 5 and Jefferson 2. Until tomorrow, so long, everyone.